everybody. Welcome to Directly to You, 106th episode. This one's not going to get borked. I promise. We swear. The guarantee. But anyway, we are Fanatixfour, PT Dubs, if you didn't know. I'm joined by Parker. He's also Fanatixfour. We're on youtube.com/Fanatixfour. And you can support us there by clicking the join button on that very channel or twitch.tv/Fanatixfour. And you get exclusive emotes, you get loyalty badges, you get gaming time with us, free Switch keys from time to time, and you get access to our spoilers on Discord, where we talk about all types of stuff, like the fact that Rosa Sabe got pears, which is true. Great. And Animal Crossing, and you can
theoretically really good
with us because it's going to be great. We're going to open our gates, and it's going to be good all the time. Just fly in with the Dodo Airport. But if you don't want to do that, you can join our Discord for free by clicking the link in the description. And Duncan will say hi, hello, what's up, yo, what up? All of that.
If he doesn't say that sequence of things at least one time, Duncan, I still appreciate you, but I'll be a little disappointed.
I'll be curious to see if his amount of views in the what up portion is exactly the amount that I'm thinking in my head. We'll find out. But apart from that, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing good. I tired a little bit. We'll talk about it in a bit, but last night we ended up going to sleep around 2:15 or so. And then because of Animal Crossing, and then this morning I had to get up at 6:50 or whatever to work from home because quarantine and all that stuff. So I'm tired a little bit, but excited tired.
I don't know why I said big oof. Like my schedule is that much different. I went to sleep at 6. Yeah, I wasn't even playing Animal Crossing the whole time. I was just looking through footage.
What a heathen. What a horrible human.
I was playing it for a long time because I got it early because of Australia time. I was time traveling, dude.
It's true.
And also I literally did that, but we'll talk about that after we talk about you playing anything else.
I am playing other things that I should probably mention because they're fun. So number one, I started playing
Wonderland.
I finished that. I'd almost finished it, I think, last week.
Kuni.
Yep, Ni no Kuni. I didn't play any more of that, but I've played a bunch of things this past week because, hey, we're stuck at home doing nothing.
Yes.
Ashley and I played Captain Toad Treasure Tracker together.
Snap! I didn't.
That was fun. We had a good old time. We, I think we got to the first boss together, and she played. So I'd played it one time. Well, I played the demo once, so a long time ago, and then got it for Christmas. Played it with my godson, who's 6. So that went. I pretty much was letting him take the lead as far as I remember
you talking about.
Okay, that. Yeah, I was I just won't collect all the things.
All right, we're done. We're going to the next thing. We finished it.
Whereas Ashley and I care about we got diamonds, cool, So we were actually doing not super completionist type things where every single coin, but which is what I do. But we were playing more similarly, so that was fun. She had a good time with that. So check that one off the list. As far as having started it and adding to more of my backlog. Also, Ori, I can't remember. Last week, you
talked about playing a demo?
Okay.
Yeah. You said you played the demo and Ashley was we're getting this game. End of discussion.
Yeah. Pretty much. That was exactly how it went.
That was one that I did see you playing.
Yep.
It's the thing. I was Parker's playing Ori.
Yep. So I started playing more of that. It's been really fun. It does remind me a lot of a mix of, Hollow Knight kind of stuff, which it was before Hollow Knight anyway. So, regardless, it's, that kind of Metroidvania, kind of similar vibe aesthetic in some ways, but a lot more platformy, and the platforming is fun. Sometimes feels not janky, but a little bit hey, I told it to do that, but it didn't do that. With wall jumps, sometimes it's kind of weird. But I feel maybe that's more my fault. I don't know. I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt because it's fun. But in any case, I'm quite enjoying it. I haven't made it super far because I've been playing a lot of different things. But Ori, there's that one.
There it is.
Also, and this is probably the main one that I'll say actual things about because whatever. I played the Trials of Mana demo, which came out on Wednesday or Thursday, something. It came out this
I saw
week.
people talking about that. I didn't know if it was a demo or if because it was mainly like, influencer people that were talking about it. So I was like,
Yeah.
is this like, did you guys get codes or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's straight up a demo on the eShop because it's Square Enix, and they're pretty big into doing demos these days. And it's a fairly substantial demo. It's probably
it
clocked in
Quest,
about
like play 10 hours.
It wasn't quite that, but also probably the full game isn't the length of a Dragon Quest. So proportional, it could be about the same. But it clocked in at 2 hours for me when the demo finished up.
So the save's going to transfer over and all that.
Yeah. The weird thing. So I have a number of thoughts about it. In like general overview, feeling right now is kind of like 7 out of 10. Feels like a fun game, but like kind of janky in some ways. It reminds, like I played Ys 8 last year, and I enjoyed that a lot. And it felt a little bit janky at the beginning, but then kind of loosened up and felt not as janky fairly quickly. And this, I don't know if it's going to do the same, but right now, like some of the running animations are kind of weird, and like the camera's not awesome. And so those kinds of just practical things. Yeah. The one thing about the demo that I thought was a little bit funny is at the beginning of the game, regardless, it seems like you pick your main character and your 2 side characters out of a pool of 6. So there's 6 different protagonists, and you can have a party of 3 of them. And I guess you just don't experience the stories for the other 3. I don't really know. But in the demo, you only get up to the point where you've met the first side character. So you have 2 characters in your party. So it seems weird to like, as a demo, be like, pick these 3 characters and then like not let you do anything with that 3rd character within the span of the demo. I don't know. Maybe not a huge deal, but just was kind of odd. But otherwise, it's like, it's an action RPG. Don't pick Charlotte as one of your characters. Just don't.
That's like it's so specific. So like I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm
again, there's 6 characters.
The people that played through this are probably like, oh yeah, she sucks. Like,
it's
like one of those things.
Well,
like,
so she's like
everybody that plays Kingdom Hearts is like Donald Duck is useless or whatever.
So the reason why is more just for voice acting reasons. She's supposed to be like a young girl. And so like I was sitting with Ashley and I was like, hey, who should I pick as my characters? And she was like, that guy and that girl and that person. Cause she was like, because 2 of the girls are like quite well endowed or whatever. And she's like, nah, don't pick them. I was like, all right. Yeah. So I picked the other girl who turns out is like 11 or 7 or 3 or something. And all of her L's are W's and R's are W. So instead of Charlotte, she's Shawwit. And that's how she talks, not because of any kind of like speech impediment, but because she's just, like supposed to be 6 or something.
Okay.
So that's annoying. But yeah, I don't know. I've got just a lot of kind of mixed thoughts. I'm not sure what I think about the soundtrack. There's a lot of times where I feel like you go from one area to another or from walking around into a battle where it feels like it should change from over like world music to battle music, but it doesn't. So it doesn't feel like the music's reflecting what's happening very well in a lot of situations. And it's kind of like, this is just the music for that area. There we go. So I don't really know. I'll see. I might end up getting it just to find out, or I'll maybe reach out for a code ideally. But it seems like just a solid, if you're looking for a game like an Ys, I feel like this will scratch that itch for sure.
I do want to experiment more with like trying to do like more review-ish stuff, but like reviews in the way that I usually do reviews.
Right, yeah.
Where it's like just general impressions, but like in-depth impressions, rather than saying like this game gets this number, just like this is what I think of this game, take it or leave it. Maybe that informs whether or not you want to play it. Maybe it doesn't. That's what it is. So yeah, I think that in this scenario, you probably reach out to Square Enix if you need.
Yeah,
I think I have a few contacts for them.
Cool.
But yeah,
but that's about what I played outside of the obvious one.
Okay, so last week when the episode was exploding, we talked about mystery dungeons, and I talked a whole lot the first time. And I
Mhm.
was like, I like this game, and I
Oh,
explained why
yeah.
I like the game and stuff like that, right?
I
And
forgot.
then when we talked about it again, I just rushed through it. So then people were like, "Wait, I thought you said you liked this game." And I was like, "Yeah, I do like it, but I was fed up. I didn't want to talk about stuff that we already talked about, and
Yeah.
I was just frustrated with the process of recording this podcast."
Yeah.
So I've since played more of this game, and that's you know what? That's a great sign. Because I never
That
played
is.
games. First of all, I finished this game, which that's like the
Look at
biggest
that.
sign of approval that you can ever
Uh-huh.
get, seal of approval that you can ever get from
True.
me. Second of all, I continued to play it after I finished it. So
Mhm.
you know I like this game for sure. So my main goal at first, the reason why I was like, well, when I was younger and I played the original, I was like, I don't want to play this game no more because I can't evolve until I beat the story.
Right.
And the only reason why I want to play the game is because I want to be Charizard. I quit. This time I'm not even Charizard. My friend is Charizard. I'm Eevee. Because you know what? I stuck to the script, man. They told me I'm Eevee. I said, I guess I'm Eevee.
What'd they say, like, your personality was or whatever, any of those kinds of, like, your traits? What'd they say about that?
I was like hardy or something like that.
That's how I describe you. If somebody asked me, tell me about AJ, just hardy all the way.
They were like, you're like impatient, which I was like, yes. Yep. Like, and other stuff.
Impatient? I mean, I don't know. What about that Australian eShop?
Yeah. I mean, well, no.
No, yeah, that's more practical than anything else. I feel
I did that for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
Because what people used to do or like say to do was like, get it from Japan or whatever. And it's like, no, because then I had to pay more. I don't want to pay more.
Yeah.
The reason why I did it here is because I'm saving money and also getting it earlier. So I was like, okay, sure, why not? But yeah, no, I'm impatient in some regards. Other regards, I'm extremely patient. So I don't know. Or more complex than a quiz in a children's game. But yeah, so they told me I was Eevee, and I was like, that's cool, that's fine. And also, I thought it was a funny goof because the whole thing with Grimhain and me being like, Eevee sucks because let's go Eevee, you can only be Eevee, and I don't want to, like, Eevee's fine, but the coolest thing about Eevee is that he's not Eevee.
It's part of the name. Evolution and that whole.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's cool about Eevee. It's his potential to be something better than what he currently is. But if you take away that potential, it's like, I don't really care about this thing. But in this scenario, it's like, oh, I'm Eevee, fine, sure. I'm still currently Eevee because I want to be Espeon. But Espeon's like one of the hardest ones to evolve into, it turns out. So the first thing I did, which when you finish, you still do the whole thing of like the regular missions, like in the demo where it's like, okay, you check the bulletin board and your mail and they tell you like, go to this floor on this cave and blah, blah, blah. You can still do all that. And then there's like other like special missions that like NPCs are like, this happened to me and that sucks. And it's like, oh man, I gotta go check that out. I completely ignored all of that. And so I'm going straight to this Wyvern cave or whatever it's called. And this is like a cave, as the name suggests, it's like all like dragon type Pokemon and stuff like that. Big boys and level 50. And stuff like that. And I'm like 35. Currently, I'm like closer to 40 now. But when I first went in there, I was like 30.
Getting over the hill.
Yes, exactly. So I went into this cave as my Eevee self, and I evolved Charmander once because also he was on like 34 or something. So he couldn't be Charizard yet. So I went in there, we got freaking wrecked, dude. But I was like, no, I'm not losing my monies. I'm not losing my stuff. So then I put out a bulletin on the internet and was like, save me, here's 300 coins. And then I got saved in like,
wait, tell me more about that. How does that work?
So when you faint, you have a few options.
Okay.
Either you can be like, I'm chalking this up as a loss and I'm going to lose all the crap that I got on me. I think you lose all of it. I don't know. I didn't completely die ever because I didn't want to risk it.
Yeah,
but
right.
You lose some amount of money and some of your stuff, whether it's all or some, I don't know, doesn't really matter to me because I don't want to lose anything. So you can do that, or if you have enough friends, because you can recruit other people and like form other groups within your rescue team or whatever, you can save yourself. But I don't pay attention to any other of my Pokemon. I just pay attention to like my core team and like a few others that were a part of the team before. Like I had initially my 3 was like Poliwag, Charmander, and Eevee. And then Poliwag, I freaking met Absol, and I was like, you gotta go, dude. All right. So then Poliwag got kicked off. And then I met Totodile, and he's currently on my team. Is Totodile.
Nice. Instead of Absol?
Yeah, Absol had to go. I freaking ran into Totodile, dude. But I ran into Totodile in the Wyvern Cave, so he's like a recent addition. And he's not a Totodile anymore. He's a Feraligatr now.
Nice. That's fast.
Yeah, because like he was like, I don't know what level Feraligatr evolves on, but he was like on like 32.
34? I'm pretty
maybe he was like 32 and he evolved all the way. And I was like, that's
that sounds right, actually. Because
usually starters are like 36, and like there's like a few that like are weird, and they're like, oh, you're 34 instead because I'm quirky, you know, like But for the most part, it's like 36. So
I'm looking it up because I want to know. Okay, yeah, it's 36 for like Blastoise. You can go on. I'll just be looking up some stuff.
There it is. But yeah, so he's a Feraligatr now, but that's completely unrelated to the story. I got saved by people in a few hours. Some dude from Japan, and he saved me. And then it was like, do you want to leave the cave and take your stuff, or do you want to keep going? I was like, nah, I got to get to floor 20 or whatever, because that's apparently where you can get the ribbon to evolve
level
30.
That is super weird.
That's very weird.
I got to look up like what's Typhlosion.
I think Typhlosion's 36.
Oh, you know what? If it's also, it is 36. Yeah. Wow.
And I guess that's just what it was, because the ones that I usually pick, those are only ones that I know.
Yeah, right.
Like by heart. Because like I usually have
Meganium is 32.
Who cares? Meganium's garbage. But
so weird.
It's very weird.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I figure is no, it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any
I mean, because I'm thinking like Gen 2, if you're going through and like just the gyms that you're going to have to deal with, the Ice Gym, for example, is Gym 7, and like the Dragon Gym is Gym. So like maybe some of those would be harder being water than. I don't know. Because you also have full other teams of Pokemon. Yeah, it's not like that's all you've got.
Like Totodile gets Ice Fang. Or at least he does now. I don't know if he used to. But
I don't think he used to, because I don't feel it. I mean, maybe. Let's find out.
Let's see. Let's look it up. You can also screen share this probably.
I'm too lazy right now, but I'm going to screen share something later. So be ready for that. Go on, you can keep talking.
But yeah, so like I was like, I'm going to keep going because I got to get to floor 20. I'm on like floor 7 or something. And then I went down like 4 more floors, and then I died again. So I was like, all right, here's 300 more coins, and I waited another day, and then I got saved again, and then I went down 6 more floors or whatever. The point is, I got all the way to like 25th floor, and it wasn't there. I was like, this is stupid, so I'm going to leave now, and I left, and then I evolved my Pokemon except for Eevee, because I still don't have the ability to do that. And then I went back in there and I like freaking ran through this cave. I'm still not at floor 20 because freaking Animal Crossing came out, you know? Rip, dude. So I was like, all right, I'm going to get there now. And as soon as I evolved my Pokemon all the way, it is so much easier to do everything. But that was another thing. Like, and when I say easier, I just mean like I'm not getting freaking obliterated, but it still does have like a lot more challenge, I would say, than it did in the main story. There's a lot more situations that cause you to strategize, and there's things of like not even just like in the act of battling, but movement is part of it too. Because there's like parts of like different dungeons and stuff where like a group of Pokemon will freaking like ambush you, and there's like 8 Pokemon just dropping down out of nowhere, all attacking you at once. And you'll be like in a corridor, and they're in like a wide open space. So you have at least 3 different people attacking one of your Pokemon that are all on like 15 levels higher than you are. So what I was doing was what I started to do anyway is when I'm in that situation, I'll just run backwards, and then my Pokemon behind me have far range attacks, so they can't get hit, but they're hitting them, and they can't hit me because I'm too far ahead of them. So like
Right.
I'm retreating while my teammates are on the offense.
Hmm.
And it's just like this whole like freaking like football play situation. And like this is wild, dude. Like it was nothing like that in the main story. Like the main story was just like, all right, I'm just gonna like freaking press the select button or R or whatever it is to do the auto. And then when battles happen, I'll do that. But now that it's over, I can't do that because I'll die.
You will die. What a mistake.
Yeah, I like this game. It's a fun game.
It's good.
Hopefully I can still play it. But Animal Crossing, you know?
I mean, Animal
Also
Crossing.
Smash Brothers, dude.
Yeah, that's true. Ice Fang is Gen 4 move. So there you go. That'll do it. So yeah, you can learn ice TMs for alligator.
Yeah, like Ice Beam.
Ice Beam, Icy Winds, Blizzard, that kind of stuff. Although
Icy
Blizzard's probably,
I guess, yeah, Icy Wind is okay.
Apparently that's Gen 2.
Yeah. Because Swinub gets Icy Wind.
Yeah.
Swinub's Gen 2.
He is. It's true.
It's true. But yeah, so I'm playing that game, and I'm still on the mission to get Espeon.
I did hear some people talk about, because again, the only Pokemon Mystery Dungeon experience I had was playing a little bit of Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, which I was like, well, I guess this is pretty accurate to Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. And that's why I didn't even play the demo for Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. But I've heard a number of people say like, well, as long as they don't go the direction of Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon or whatever.
Yeah.
So like apparently that's more different than I realized.
I can honestly see you liking this game.
Okay.
I don't know for sure if no, I think you'll like this game. I was going to say, I don't know for sure if you would think it's worth $60, but no, I think you would, especially like after the post game and stuff. Because like you like RPGs and you like the long sprawling, and that's what this game is. Like in the initial, like if the full game was the 15-hour campaign, then no, it's not worth $60. But the game is everything beyond that.
Yeah. Heads up that it did the thing again from last week. So you froze for a second. My upload speeds are normal, so I don't know what that says.
Who knows? We'll ride it out.
We'll ride it out. It'll be good.
So hopefully we're good.
We're good.
But yeah, I think you'll like it.
I might end up getting it retro because at this point I've got too much other stuff to play. But it might be also like a good birthday list game or like Christmas list or something like that, just to have to like play at some point. So we'll see. Because that's what I do with a lot of the ones where it's like, I'm just not going to play it right now, but I'd like to play it eventually. So like,
I think
Astral
it's bad
Chain
timing.
and The Witcher
I think
3
it's
are
bad
still,
timing now.
Yeah.
It worked for me because it's like, I always try to do, like, because whenever a newer game's coming out, I'm like, but I want to play something new now. And then like something like Mystery Dungeon will come out, or like right before Mario Odyssey, it was like Stardew Valley. It was like, this game, or whatever, I'll buy that. And then I'll like blaze through that right before another game comes out.
Yep.
And that's what happened with Mystery Dungeon. It came out shortly before Animal Crossing.
I wonder which of those companies, because obviously like within Nintendo, they talk about their first party releases and staggering them well and that kind of stuff, ideally. But I wonder even within,
they do.
Well, I mean, more like with their first party stuff.
They talk about it, but I think they do the opposite of what most publishers do, where most publishers are like, we don't want to cannibalize our market or whatever, and Nintendo's like, oh, you got a Pokemon game coming out, let's put Smash Brothers out on the same day. I remember getting going to get Smash Bros for Wii U, I think the Wii U version, and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire the same day. It was a dual launch event
oh my goodness.
And I was like,
that's true. Because also thinking about like last year and how that September window was just like, what are you guys doing? Just think about this a little bit more. Like you can.
I think they are though, because most people that are like going to buy it day one, they don't care about that. They already figured all that stuff out. It was like me, where it's like, you know what, a Pokemon game and a Smash Brothers game coming out the same day is the perfect storm for me.
Yeah.
So like, those are like that's my whole Venn diagram, you know. So I was like, okay, I'll freaking give you $100. That's fine. So just pick up both of them, and then the people that are like, you know, going to pick one or the other at launch are going to eventually get the other thing when they do. So it's like, it really doesn't matter.
Yep. And on the front of spending $100 on games, we got 2 copies of Animal Crossing,
So
and
you did the smart thing.
yeah, we did the more expensive thing, but I mean, it definitely works out better. Like, because
you know what? You know what you could have did? You could have got it from Australia and got it cheaper.
True. I mean, so I used PayPal because whatever. Thanks. Can you use PayPal for?
No.
No, you couldn't use an American PayPal account. You'd have to buy.
You gotta get like eShop cards or whatever.
Yep.
Which, for what it's worth, you probably couldn't have did anyway.
Yeah.
Because like if you would have did it, if you had to do it after I did it, it was done. Like it ran out of stock. I told my aunt, who's my
eShop cards run out of stock
on like the sites that like sell them in other regions.
Oh.
Like the only
because they pay for a certain amount of stock ahead of time, like a store would, and they have like a quantity of Interesting.
And everybody bought those because they're like, I want to play Animal Crossing.
Yeah, right.
A day early. Which, like, again, if I was just like Joe Schmo playing Animal Crossing, I wouldn't have did it. But I want to have as much time as possible to play this game for content.
Yeah, true.
So I got it as far ahead of time as I possibly could.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the workflow pretty much for what ended up happening was I went ahead and bought it and pre-downloaded it kind of in the afternoon at some point. At 11 o'clock, Ashley had fallen asleep a bit, and I woke her up. I was like, do you want me to wake you up when Animal Crossing comes out? Because we were going to wait up for it. And she was like, yeah, definitely. And so I woke her up, and then I started playing, and she was like, so where do I get to play? And I was like,
yeah,
give me a minute.
Because you can't even play day one anyway. Like,
yeah, right.
The airport has to open.
Yep. So it couldn't do that. And then also I realized, I was like, you know what? Like, she's not going to want to be, because it was all a question of like, the only thing I don't want to happen is that we spend another $60 on a copy. And she's like, yeah, totally. I'll love it. And then immediately is like, yeah, never mind. Because then it's like, well, that was the $60.
Yeah, no, if there's any game.
Oh, and I mean, we already, we're fully aware.
Going to be worth it. It was this game.
Yeah. So, and especially like, because I'd only played for like probably 15 minutes before we started downloading her copy and bought it and stuff. So then she started playing at midnight when it finally downloaded. So then at like 1:30, I was like, I've got to go to bed because I have to get up and work tomorrow. And she's like, okay, just give me a couple minutes. I just am finishing. She was making some designs for like a shirt and some custom designs. And I was like, okay. And then 45 minutes later, finally, we actually ended up putting it down and then played more throughout today. But that was the story of at least how we got it. But tell me more. Let's talk about it. We've played a bunch now.
Yeah.
What do you think so far?
I love it, but I knew I was going to.
Yeah, right.
Because like I've played Animal Crossing games in the past, and I played at PAX, so I was like, I can see this being good when I'm not like handcuffed to 3 other people. So yeah, I downloaded it. Like I pre-downloaded it like 2 days before I actually started playing it, which I played on the 19th because I got it off the Australian eShop, and it unlocked 9 a.m. On the 19th for me. I wasn't up at 9 a.m. I got up at like, I don't know, like 11. And then I woke up, I was like, oh, Animal Crossing's unlocked. And then I started playing it, and I did all the stuff that I could possibly do. Like I freaking got as much of the like Nook miles and stuff like that, which is how I paid off my initial loan, which I think we have a Q&A question about how long, or maybe
let's check.
It was from Chris DeBute. She was talking about
so here, we'll go ahead and read that one. So at Chris DeBute, also the Devilman's Crybaby Japanese Ogre, said, will you be my friend in Animal Crossing? Yeah, sure thing.
Oh, that wasn't that question.
And then but also said, LOL, but how long did it take you to pay off Tom Nook for the 10? It only took me like 3 hours.
There it is. Yeah, it took me around then too. It was like an hour to somewhere in that time frame. So we can literally trace it back and see when I unlocked it. Because like I said, I woke up at 11. I started playing it. around then. And then when I tweeted that I paid off the raccoon, that's when I paid him off, like 5 minutes before then.
Yep.
So wait, what time is this? This is it took me 1 hour and 51 minutes, roughly.
Yep. Sounds about right.
So yeah, it felt a lot easier than past games to like get past that thing, which it doesn't really take that long in past games either. Maybe it took like a full day of playing or whatever. Not 24 hours, but like go through the day. But this time I didn't even get through the full day. Yeah, right. Because of the miles. I think you can pay with the money, but I'm not sure because I never even tried paying.
I don't think the first one you can. So my understanding of it,
he says it because he's like, all right, this loan
49. Yeah, I guess you can
bells or whatever, and then he's like, or you could pay Nook miles. I don't know if that's actually an or you.
Yeah, because any times that I went, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even try because
it doesn't seem like you can mix and match at least yet. I think later it sounds like you can do some more of that.
Can confirm. Can't do that.
Later, I think what it is, you can buy Nook Miles vouchers with bells is something
those are tickets, which they get you bells.
Okay.
It's okay. So
gotcha.
You cannot buy your upgrades beyond this point, or at least your immediate upgrade. I don't know, maybe your 4th upgrade or whatever you can buy with miles, but the first upgrade you don't even have an option to pay it off with miles. You have to pay it with bells. So there's that.
Gotcha.
I'm about like 15,000 bells away from paying off my next loan, and the loan is like 95,000 or something, or 90,000, something around. I'm like 80% of the way through this loan. I'm going to be done before the end of today. Paying off my upgrade, and I don't even so you get the upgrade, and then it gets built before you pay for it. Like you don't have to pay it off and then he builds it. So I'm going to pay it off before it's even done. Which is great. You know, you don't want to be in debt to a raccoon, man. You know? So what do you remember the Islanders you started with? Because
so I have Muffy and Curly. Muffy is a sheep, Curly is a pig, because of curly tail, I guess. And I've got oranges. And Ashley, meanwhile, has Axel.
It would have been great if I got pairs. That would have been great.
It would have been great. Well, what's funny is, was it Sorry T that was saying that they're pairs?
It was Rosa Sabe, I think.
Okay, yeah, you're right. And then said that theoretically good pairs. And I was like, that was good.
That would have been so good.
That would have been great.
Good. But I mean, I feel like I have
want raspberries.
I have a bit with pretty much every fruit that's in this game.
That's true.
So what's
your fruit?
I got apples, red apples.
I got oranges, so you're welcome.
So I'm a cop. I was gonna make a joke about that for my town name, but I'm steering clear from that because I feel like there's going to be jokes that I'm not going to be happy about in the comments.
True. What is your town name in the end?
I named it like Sapphire in Japanese, or so I don't know how to pronounce it. Because I wanted to name it something blue, and all the blue names are like very clearly just straight up blue. So I was like, I want to name it in something. I want to name it like Aqua Town or something like that.
Right.
I wanted to be like, it's blue, but it's not just blatantly blue. So yeah, I named it that, and my roof is also blue.
Oh, so nice. I think I picked a black roof, but mine won't be built till tomorrow. I got the first bit of the museum set up, but my house won't be built till tomorrow.
Oh, my museum is also done.
Nice.
Well, it's getting built currently. Yeah. The upgrade or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's another thing that like Nook, he wants to build a store or whatever. I finished that too. So they're building that.
So one thing that I'm curious about this, and my town name, my island name, I'm like, I don't even know if I tried to make it the Lost numbers from Lost, 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42, but it won't let you put more than 5 numbers. And I think because it doesn't want you to put phone numbers, and that would be the length of a phone number. So I was like, okay, that's a thing. But in any case, I tried to put that. They didn't like it. So I was like, anyway. So I decided that my island has secret shenanigans going on about, and it's not actually an island. So I just called it Peninsula with a little asterisk, and that like secretly It's not an island. And I don't even know if I like that much, but it was like, here's the thing. Here we're doing it. So here we are. But yeah, the thing I was going to say was I'm curious if this will be like, I'll be interested to check back in 3 months, for example, to see where we're at as far as playing level and that kind of stuff. Because like, I remember when I first got Mario Maker 2, I think both of us played it like a lot for the first couple weeks. And then it was just took a nosedive after I finished like the third level that I was working on. I was like, yeah, that's great.
But I think that's the difference. Like that's the differentiating factor that I could see. I could legitimately see us like check it in 2 years from now and be like, so I played Animal Crossing yesterday for 45 minutes. Yeah. You know, like that sort of thing. Like I think it's the type of game that you can play long term. And whether it be as much as you did when it first came out, you're still playing it on some level. To like check in with your town and do like small things here and there. Whereas with Mario Maker, like the main draw of it for me was making levels, and that takes so long, and it wasn't worth it. Yeah,
it's a lot. It's a lot of work investment to doing it, but it's also just mental investment. Like, because everything builds up to this bigger picture of stuff. Whereas in Animal Crossing, like technically same kind of thing where the whole island you're kind of building, designing, but at the same time, you kind of don't have to worry about that and can kind of just be like, I just want that tree right there.
And you can, because why not? You can chip away at it and still feel like you did something. Yeah. Like it would be the equivalent of me being like, all right, I placed 12 blocks on my Mario Maker level. I'm done. You know, like you wouldn't feel accomplished with that. It feels like when you start a level, if you don't finish it, you didn't really do anything. Right. Whereas here, you can literally just say, all right, I planted those 7 trees that I wanted to plant. Yeah, now I'm done. You know,
and also, I mean, the comparison and competition aspect of thing is always interesting in kind of any games at all. But with Mario Maker, there's definitely some element of that where like you're comparing your levels to other levels that are out there, and you know, ranking and whatever, some of that kind of stuff, or even just mentally being like, this level is good or it's not good. Whereas with your island, I'm not really, probably for the first couple of days, we'll be comparing stuff more so because it's like, this is how far I got. But pretty soon, all those branching paths of like what's happened first or whatever won't line up in the same way. Where like, I'll have done a lot more fishing, so I'll have more of this and you'll have more of that or whatever. I would guess. I mean, I don't really know. But that's my assumption, is that like maybe the shops don't even come in the same order for everybody. I don't know.
Probably. At least the like as far as I'm at, where I'm at in the game, that is sequential with how you'll get there. Yeah. There's going to be like differences as far as like obviously islanders and stuff like that. I think I met 3 additional islanders.
Oh wow.
Because I did like 3 or 4. Did you
do the fairy thing?
Yeah, I bought.
Oh, I didn't know you could already do that.
Yeah, because that's another thing. I time traveled yesterday, dude. Oh. Because I mean, it was partially because it was the cardinal
rules.
Yeah, I know, man. I wanted to just test it, honestly, just to see how it worked. But and it was weird because it's like I technically went ahead 2 days because I didn't know how it handled days. I didn't know if it was like midnight's the next day.
Right, yeah.
Some other thing. Apparently 6 a.m. is the next day.
That's what I was wondering, yeah.
So I time traveled last night when I was playing at like 2 or something. I time traveled to 6 today. And then I did all this stuff. Like Nook was like, hey, Blathers is here, blah, blah. And then he was like, hey, give me stuff. And I gave Blathers stuff and got enough to upgrade the thing. And then I switched his clock back to being linked to the internet. And then I turned it off after like saving it and stuff like that. And then when I turned the game on again, I was like, oh yeah, it's the next day. Blathers thing, his construction is underway. It's going to be done tomorrow. So I'm like, okay, I guess I just shot forward 2 days in game.
So, okay, wait, when you went forward, you said, did you give Blathers stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he still have that stuff given to him when he showed up?
Yes. Yeah. So when did you already? Is Blathers already on his?
I've got Blathers. I've given him 3. He's got his little setup. I've given him 3 fossils.
Okay, so I did the initial thing where you give it to Nook and then Blathers comes and he's like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, whatever. And then I went in there and I gave him everything. He wants like, I don't know, like 20 things or 15 things or something like that. And I gave him all that crap. And I still have a lot of stuff that I put in the storage in my house.
Okay. Also, how do you get storage in your house?
You get a house.
Oh, okay. So once it's like a house, you can.
Yeah, once you get a house, you get like the
looking forward to that because
you know,
I don't
like in the direct they showed like the sim-ish UI and stuff like that, like customizing. You unlock that, and then you unlock like it seems like the storage in your house is unlimited.
That's cool.
Like you get achievements for hoarding things, so I'm pretty sure it's unlimited. I just pretty much everything that I find, as far as like animals and like, you know, flora and fauna, I immediately store it in my house, and then I'll compare and say, okay, how many of these do I have?
Do you have to manually bring it to your house to drop it off every time? Okay. I figured so, but.
So I'll go in there and I'll drop that stuff off, and like everything that's in my storage, it's go in the blathers. And then everything else, like if I have extra, that I'll sell off.
Yep.
Just so I can fill out the museum as quickly as possible.
That's because I've heard people have that struggle where it's like, I could give you this to the museum because it's unique, but also it's worth 1 million bells or whatever. Exactly. And like, I've just decided to myself, I'm going to prioritize museum 100% of the time. Like I'll just get a duplicate of it, maybe. But like, if I don't get a duplicate of it, like I could get 1 million bells a different way. It'll take a lot longer, but I could get them a different way. You know, I can be patient.
That's where I'm at. I'm like, there's stuff that like I got that's like worth a lot of bells and stuff like that. But it's like, but it's rare, so I'll literally never be able to give him this if I don't find it again. But I can make those bells, whether maybe it takes more work or whatever, but it's quantifiable. It's not something that's like, maybe I'll find this again, you know? Yeah. So like, especially the rare things are going to him first.
Yeah. But it's been interesting watching Ashley play too, because I have a hard time not like, I'll try not to tell her things and just let her, you know, do it however she wants to. But like if she has questions, I'll answer whatever. But then there are some things where like, I realize now, like I just shouldn't say anything, because also past this point, we're out about the same point now. So we're good on that front. Like I don't know that much more than she does, other than the stuff from promotional material or my knowledge of other Animal Crossings from what I've heard. But things like donating stuff to Tom Nook in the first place, the game doesn't super like, it kind of suggests some of that stuff, but not really. You kind of have to know that you're going to do that, or just happen upon it or whatever, or have somebody tell you. So like I told her that, but like, because otherwise, you know, you could go, I don't know, several days within the game without even having the museum get started to show up. But at the same time, maybe that's better to just find out, you know? I
feel like if you're doing that, you're probably not playing the game like actually playing the game. Because like pretty much everybody tells you what you need to do. Like all the animals are like, if you're not doing X, maybe you should do this, you know? Like Gulliver, he freaking he's on my island or whatever, like he like freaking is a castaway or
washed ashore or whatever.
He was on my island. He got beached twice. Nice. And all the island, because I saw him the first time, I was like, oh yeah, that's cool, I'll help him out. And he's like, find these 5 parts of my thing or whatever. And then I was like, okay, that seems like it's manageable. And then I did it and it was annoying, so I was like, I don't have to do that again. And then he like immediately, like the next day, washed up on my island again, and I was like, I don't want to help you again. Like I'll do it eventually, maybe, but like right now you're just laying there. I'm not even going to wake you up. But every time I went to go talk to him,
what if that time he was actually dead? Like for real?
Oh well. I didn't even mention the islanders that I started with. I started with Fuchsia and Sparrow. Fuchsia is like, she like freaking, she's pink, and she's like a mammal of some sort. I don't remember exactly what animal she is, but Sparrow's a sparrow. So that's easy to remember. Classic. And I don't like Sparrow because he's annoying, and like he's like an athletic dude. He's like, man, I want to build my house into a gym. I want to get weights. I like skiing. You You know, like he has like he calls me bro a lot. I don't like him.
Oh man. Are you gonna try to like get him off your island and stuff?
I don't know. Maybe I'll see if he has a character arc. I'll see if he.
I mean,
if he
maybe it's good to have a
me.
colorful cast, you know.
Yeah, and then Fuchsia, she seems like she's like real sweet and stuff. She like calls me freaking. What did she say? I don't remember. Something like along the lines of like darling or something like that. So I'm like, yeah, she's nice, but like at the same time, she's like kind of snarky because like I'll talk to her and she's like, oh, you're talking to me way too much, dude, like more or less. But like,
interesting,
and they all kind of do that. Like if you talk to Islanders too much, but she did it. I talked to her maybe 3 times. In the span of like an hour.
Oh, wow.
And then she was like, you gotta stop talking to me. And I'm like, all right, but she won me over because the Nook children, his child laborers, they were like, hey, we want to, yes, them. They were like, guys, hey, we want to build a shop or whatever, and we need these materials. She helped me get materials. Sparrow didn't do freaking nothing. So I wrote after that got built, I wrote them letters because you can like send letters to people, and I wrote her a letter. I was like, thanks for the help, and I send her something, and then I wrote Sparrow, and I was like, I hate you or something like that. I'll probably make it a bit in my video. Yeah, but I have the replay of that. But Sparrow sucks, dude. He might get kicked off. I don't know.
It's true. Yeah, I hate him so much. I've never even met him, but I trust in your judgment and lack of his. Man, I was going to say something else, but I don't know. Yeah, it's a good old time. I really am curious about how Ashley's progression with it will be as well, because like that'll be the true telling sign of like. I mean, so far I've been working from home and she's been hanging out next to me. And she's played it probably like 5 or 6 hours total at this point. So seems like it's going all right.
Yeah. I mean, the game came out for you guys. A little over half that ago. So that's pretty good.
Yep. Yeah.
Especially for somebody that's like, she's not like a gamer. So like the fact that she's played 6 hours.
Maybe it's not that much.
12 hours ago.
She got up at like 10 and then played till about 2, so it's 4 hours. Yeah, and 2 hours last night. She had a lot of fun with the creation thing, like the art creation stuff as well. So it's good.
Speaking of that, I saw like Mega Man and people in Discord talking about
the thing.
That. Yeah.
It looks good.
That somebody send me the QR code for that.
Apparently, somebody was saying the QR code only seems to be from the 3DS version. We'll have to figure out if that's the case or not.
There should be some way to like share them, but I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We will.
But once we do, share it with me so I can share it with people in my video on Thursday. We're switching videos. BT dubs this week.
Yeah, and heads up. Possibly mine is going to be first impressions of Animal Crossing. So
I mean, that's great. Great for me. Less great for Grimhand and Brad.
I know. I feel bad for you guys, but then probably that'll be my last Animal Crossing video for a good hot minute.
Probably same. I don't know. It depends if we have a Nintendo Direct or whatever. But
so we'll see. But that's that. Any last thoughts on Animal Crossing for right now? I mean, we'll talk about it more eventually, but.
Great game, you know?
Yep. It's good. I mean, at this point, like I'll talk about any nitpicks or anything like that, but I don't really even have that many. It's just fun. All the villagers seem good and it's pretty and sounds nice. So it's definitely not an indie game. You know what I'm saying?
Did you see what? KK Slider?
Yeah, in my dream.
Yeah, and he's like, "I'm a cool cat" or something like that. That upset me. I was like, "You're not a cat. You're a dog."
I know. I really wanted him to be like, "I'm a cool cat." Also, he reminds me 100. For anybody that watches Parks and Rec, I mean, this is also another actor that does other things, but I don't know who it is. He reminds me of Hippie Ron from season 6 or something like that. I'm gonna look up the actor real quick. Hippie Ron, Parks and Rec. He's a famous actor. I don't know. Sam Elliott. I don't know who Sam Elliott is.
I don't know who that is either.
Here, I'll screen share real quick because we're about to switch topics, and I'll be sharing for that. So,
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
This guy. This is KK Slider as a human being.
Oh my god.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I can see it.
Because he's like kind of, KK Slider.
Yeah.
Sort of that vibe.
Especially like the top left picture. That's KK Slider.
Yep. So funny. Oh man, good old times. So, but yeah, that's it for Animal Crossing for right now. And then let's talk about some indie world stuff that we had this week.
Yeah.
So, ready?
What were your thoughts going into this? Were you like, yeah, man, the freaking indie direct? I'm hype.
My thoughts were that we weren't going to see, and I tweeted about this too, that we were going to see at most like 1-2 updates on games that we already knew about, but probably none. Like Silksong, the ones that I really want to see, and everybody's always like, maybe we'll get updates on Silksong or Crosscode or any of those kinds of things. And I was like, we haven't in the past. That's just not their MO for it. They give us new announcements of ports that we didn't know were coming to Switch or completely new games that we didn't know existed, which ended up being the case. So if they changed that, I would have been thrilled if we got Silksong.
I was like the opposite, which like I wasn't really thinking about like past indie worlds. I was just thinking what the rationale usually is with directs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Even with directs, that was, I think, why the September direct this last year was kind of weird, was because it had a lot more updates than usually is the case. Like more often than not, they'll do some updates, but the updates will only be like, and here's a substantial new bit about like DLC about
like
this thing.
It usually depends on how much we already know about.
That's like entirely true.
Like a lot of the directs from last year, since there were so many games that we like Luigi's Mansion and like freaking 2019 was huge with so many games. A lot of those directs had a lot of updates. And I feel like we're in a similar realm as far as like the amount of big indies that we don't know much about.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that we would get updates on at least 2 or 3 of them. And I was like, I hoped for the opposite. I wanted most of them.
Yeah.
I was like, so, I want to see most.
Yeah. And I think also I temper my expectations for the indie directs based on a lot of other ones in the past where I've been really excited and then seen everything that they have to show. And I'm like, I don't know that I care about any of these. And those games come out, I'm like, oh, actually, that was awesome. I just didn't get a good impression of it from the direct. So I just assume I probably won't be super hyped about any of these going into it.
I feel like that's like pretty common with indie games, and I don't understand exactly why that is. But like, there's a lot of indie games that like after playing them, I'm like, yo, this game's freaking dope. Like Celeste, I saw Celeste multiple times in multiple directs, and I was like, I don't care. Show me Mario or whatever. And then I got a code for Celeste, and I was like, I guess I'll try this. And it was just freaking dope.
Yep.
And I think that happens with like every indie, and the only exception now is when freaking Clara from the Devolver sandbox strategy team or whatever, whenever she sends me a code, I'm like, I know this game is going to be good. So like Devolver Digital is kind of the exception now, where it's like if I see their logo, I'm like, oh, they're probably showing something.
Well, and that said too, I think there's been enough indie games that there's a lot that don't really look like much that turn out awesome. Like if I just saw Stardew Valley and heard nothing about it, I would be like, okay, sure, whatever. Right. You know, that's what it is. See
Stardew Valley 2 or whatever.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
From studio behind.
And so, but on the flip side, I remember seeing like anything where I'm like, that's an indie game. 9 times out of 10, that game's actually going to turn out to be like, there was that, man, there were a couple like Breath of the Wild looking ones.
Yeah, like freaking
Pine is one.
The game called? What is the
I never played
called?
it. So
Morphe's Law.
Oh,
that
yeah,
was one of those games where that got announced, and me and Bob were hype. We were like, yo, this game is going to be dope. We're going to love this game. We're going to play this game so much. We played it the first time. We're like, this game trash.
Yep.
Never
so
played
that's
it again.
anytime it's like, whoa, that's an indie game. It's more risky, I think, because probably their eyes are bigger than their stomachs. Probably not all the time. Like there's some that's definitely not the case, but So that said, I just set my expectations every time at let's find out, like let's see what's going on. And like I didn't have a ton of expectations for Fogs, but then we played it and it seems like it's really fun. So yeah, so that's kind of how I felt going into this.
I'm surprised we didn't see. Well, then again, no, I'm not. I'm lying because Bob was surprised we didn't see Fogs. I thought we weren't going to see it. Maybe we get. Yeah. No, we weren't. I didn't even think we were going to get a date because freaking Jack told us that it was like sometime in June. Yeah. So we're like, oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah. The only reason that they would have. Like if they were like sometime in June and then they actually knew it was April 16th or something like that. But like that didn't seem like the case going into it. So yeah, that was kind of my expectations for this. Oh, the other thing we said why like sometimes the games don't seem super hype going into it. Something about the direct presentation itself, and like it's great that they're acknowledging the studios themselves and like here's somebody from this studio talking about this thing, but a lot of times those people aren't great presenters. They're maybe great game developers, but they're not like awesome in front of a camera. Right. So that doesn't sell the game super well. Maybe it sells the studio, but
yeah, not everybody can be like the guy from A Way Out,
right? Yeah. He was fun. What was his name? He was Italian or something, that guy. Yeah. So I think that's part of it is just the presentation of it in general, because the one game that or a couple of games looked good from this, but one that looked like particularly good was, and we'll get to it more specifically when we get into all of them, but The Last Campfire. The Last Campfire looked really good. Partly because it actually had a real trailer that had music behind it and didn't just have the Treehouse people who do a great job, but the Treehouse like people showing it being like, I really like this game because it's kind of like this. Because those just don't feel very hype.
Like organic or yeah.
Exactly. Yes, that's a great way of putting it. It just doesn't feel like the vibe of what I'm seeing goes
PR rep. Reading off bullet points.
Yes, that's
which exactly is fine.
Yeah,
but it doesn't like encourage hype amongst general consumers.
So I think probably these do a good job of making us more aware of some things that are coming out, but they'll have to have their own marketing to support it. So, but we'll go through them and talk about the ones that we thought looked cool and all that. So this first one, Blue Fire, this is like platformer RPG.
This is the ninja one, right? This is the one with Leffen. You don't know who Leffen is.
Nope, sure don't.
He's a Smash Bros. Player.
And okay. I know his name.
He has the hair.
He's Swedish or something. Yeah.
But he's Swedish, but he's also like Japanese or something.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But yeah, when me and Bob were streaming this, I made a joke about this being a game about Leffen because it's
really funny. This one does look, I mean, again, this could be one where it turns out it's actually kind of anything 3D could be easily janky if it's not if they're not careful. But it could be great, and the vibe looks really cool. So if they pull it off, then I'm totally into it. So Blue Fire, I don't know the release dates for any of these.
I'm down. I hope it's good. Send me a code.
Yeah, indeed. Baldo, here you go. Any thoughts?
Who said? Oh, it was Max.
It was Max. It was great. It was a picture of the director who's bald or has a shaved head or whatever next to the game title that says Baldo, and they were like, "Someone at Nintendo is not very nice," or whatever.
Yeah. My thought for this game, I was like, so an Italian studio made a Studio Ghibli game. Interesting.
Yeah. I think we've seen, this isn't the first time this game's been shown either, because I've seen it.
People said that a lot about a lot of these games, and that's the problem with like indie games being like shown off like this, because I never remember any of them. Yeah. And it's very rare. Like Fogs, like it has to be something wild, Untitled Goose Game, like games like that. It's like, oh, I'm going to remember that game. But
here, I'm going to look up, if I just look, well, I'll do it on the computer. But if I look up Baldo trailer, also when it first said Baldo, I thought it was saying Balto.
Me too.
I was like, I'm excited. Okay, yeah. So Baldo official trailer. This is from May 22nd, 2019.
Oh yeah.
So it's been shown before, and yeah, I think that, I mean, it shows first Switch there. So I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I don't know where that trailer came from or whatever, but obviously the purpose of this is to show games that are coming out, not necessarily announce them for the first time.
Mhm.
But so
I like, honestly, no game that we saw was a game that's like, oh, this game again. I didn't remember any of these.
This was probably the only one.
Stuff.
There might have been one or two others, but this was the only one that I because I remember seeing it and being like, oh, cool. Looks kind of like a Studio Ghibli Legend of Zelda top-down sort of 3D mix.
Is it Ghibli or Ghibli? I don't know.
I don't know. People correct me both ways, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's Ghibli.
I think Ghibli because there's an H, so it's a hard. If there was no H, then it would be Ghibli because Gibli. But
yeah, but it's a Japanese.
It's another word. Yeah, exactly. So
it's another word.
Who
knows, man?
But yeah, I'm down for this one. It's looks like it could be cool. So there you go. I Am Dead.
Oh, this is an aggressive title.
It really is for not a very aggressive game.
I was like, well, not naming any videos after this game.
Yeah,
they're going to get demonetized immediately.
Yep.
Except for on this channel, we can name it whatever we want on.
That's true. That's
not getting monetized anyway.
Correct.
Subscribe.
Does it seem kind of like a puzzle game kind of thing to you, or like, I mean, maybe not a puzzle, but like a mystery sort of thing? Like you go around trying to find things, and maybe sort of in the like Professor Layton sort of world. I don't know.
Possibly. Literally, all I remember about this game is the title.
Yep. I don't know. It doesn't strike a particular chord with me. But there it is. It's a thing.
Effective title.
Very true. Effective title indeed. This one,
Bob said looked like a Flash game.
It does. It also, here's the thing. It reminded me of, it looks similar to, in my mind, a game called Swim Sanity that was at PAX.
Oh yeah,
That I think also looks like a Flash game, but at PAX people were like real hype for it. It seemed like, so I don't know, like maybe it's okay or something, but looking like a Flash game is not.
Not necessarily
not the best. I don't know.
It's not the worst.
No, it's definitely not the worst.
Depends on how much it costs. I don't know, because like games can still be good and look like Flash games.
I mean, they definitely can.
Flash games that are good.
There are Flash games that are good. I've played many of them. I guess the other thing too that's always funny is like there's some games. I feel like I've said this maybe on the podcast, but I know I said it in context with somebody else recently. Is there's games that'll say it's a hand-drawn art style. But if the person's bad at drawing, which isn't the case here, like, I don't know if that's, but I've seen some games where they're like, it's a hand-drawn art style. And it's like, yeah, well, okay, the person who hand drew them did not do a great job at hand drawing them. Like, it's a little different. So it's not necessarily the game for me, but could be it seems like a good one to play like with your kids or something like that, which people do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never like shoot 'em ups and stuff like that. Yeah. Those type of games never felt like substantial enough for me. Like I always felt like it was like a mini game. Like it needs to be something within something
kind of arcade games and stuff.
Not even that, like just like a mini game within another game. Like I wouldn't pay $0.25 to play a game like this. I don't mean like pay $0.25 to play it on my Switch. I mean like, I wouldn't go to an arcade and put $0.25 in it.
If anybody is into shmups and whatnot, definitely let us know what is it that's appealing about it to you, because some of it might be the high score chasing and that kind of thing too, where it's the replay value, which that's just not something that I do much of. If you're into that, then there you go.
Yeah, I feel like the competitive, like I think I'm relatively competitive, but it's not the thing that drives me to play something. I'm competitive with Smash Brothers because I like it. It wouldn't just be because like, oh, there's a competitive scene for this game, so I want to be the best at it. It's like, no, I like playing this game and I'm pretty good at it, so like I want to get better.
Right. No, that makes sense.
So stuff like that, where it's just like the draw is like it has a scoreboard, beat your high score. It's like, but I don't care about setting a baseline score. So like, why would I care about beating the high score?
Yeah.
But you know, just general.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's just a psychology thing for different people. For some people, that's like, you know, it's the same kind of thing where some people just aren't going to like Animal Crossing or whatever because just the goals.
Everybody likes Pokemon. Pokemon's the best thing.
Everybody likes Pokemon.
Pokemon fans love everything Pokemon ever does. Nobody in Pokemon ever gets mad.
Not a one. Not a one. Next one.
This was another game.
Freakopolis.
This was another one that Bob was like, this got announced before. And I was like, what?
Yeah, I didn't remember. I definitely didn't remember.
It was like a Kickstarter or something.
Oh, okay. I mean, that makes sense.
I had no idea.
Yep. There it is. I don't really know a ton about it.
Have you seen any like Cyanide and Happiness?
Yeah. I remember Cyanide and Happiness, especially from like 2008 or whatever.
Yeah. So
good old time.
But
what kind of game is it? Do you remember? Like, is it a
it looked like a South Park, not like a South Park thing in the sense that it's like an RPG, but it gave me like the vibe of like South Park. Like
that was kind of the vibe I got too. I just don't remember what the gameplay would be like. So that's something. If you're into like funny games, then and Cyanide and Happiness, then check that out.
Send me a code.
Next up, Summer in Mara. This life simulator allows you to make friends, craft, farm, and explore beautiful coastal towns.
This game, I was offended. I was offended by this game. There was a lot of like Animal Crossing wannabes in this.
There were. I
world.
Thought the same as well. Lots of
like,
cutesy
this is
games.
of bad taste.
Yeah. You mean just because it's coming out right before Animal Crossing?
Like,
or it's being announced?
Dare you freaking announce your Animal Crossing clone 3 days before Animal Crossing comes out or whatever?
I wonder if that gets more people. I feel like that it does worse for it than better anyway, you know, where more people are going to be like, well, but I've got Animal Crossing coming out. As opposed to like, I mean, then again, maybe it's because people are really excited for Animal Crossing, then they'll want to be more excited for this too. I don't know how that works, but I don't know.
It feels like Animal Crossing to me feels like I can see fans of like fighting games or even like adventure, like, you know, like Legend of Zelda type stuff, like them wanting to play more than one game like that at a time. Akin to like people on YouTube watching more than one YouTuber. Whereas Twitch feels like an investment, dude. Like if I'm watching this person and nobody else. Yeah, that's what Animal Crossing games feel like to me. Like Life Sims feel like, all right, this is my game for the next 3 months. Like you'll play other games, but not another Life Sim.
Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, that's how I feel with RPGs, honestly, as well, is that like I don't like to play more than one long game at the same time. So, but it's fun to have an RPG and a platformer, for example, to switch between, or like a puzzle game or something like that. But anything that like has you in the mindset of somebody and doing a lot of kind of minute tasks. So I don't know. And this one, the art style seemed fine, but it also seemed, again, not that it doesn't really matter that much. I mean, it looks pretty, I don't know. I don't want
Which one is this? No, I think it's another one.
It's coming up. The animal one.
The freaking it's not this one. It's
not that one, but it's coming up. All right, so Summer in Mara. Let us know if you're interested in it. It's like an Animal Crossing-esque but different.
You know what? Let us know in the comments or on Twitter or whatever if any of these are something that you specifically want us to cover.
That's true. Yeah.
Some fashion. Just generally do that. Just let us know. There's games that you're like, I want to see videos about this game. Let us know.
Yep. Indeed. Next up was Quantum League. This one I feel like is going to be either one way or another.
Embraced by a lot of people or be a train wreck.
Like either it's what's the one you just mentioned, the shooter, Morphe's Law. Either it's Morphe's Law or it's Overwatch.
Like Splatoon. Yeah.
So, but the idea in any case is that you're it's a first person shooter. Oh, interesting. It's first person shooter. Okay, but it looked like a third person shooter,
Yeah,
maybe just because of the promotional material. But it's a first person shooter.
Yeah, like literally this picture right here.
Yeah. But every time you die, your ghost does the things that you did the last time, and more bullets get shot and stuff. They didn't go in a ton into detail, but if it's what it sounds like, then that's kind of how it works.
And the thing that's weird that like me and Bob kind of got stuck on, we're like, I don't know what this game is they say it's 1-on-1 or 2v2. Mm-hmm. What does the 2v2 mean? Are they saying that it's co-op with another person, or are you the other person?
I would guess that it's so like you and I would be on a team or whatever. So we have friendly fire off probably, and so like we're going around, we're shooting some of the other two people. I die. Then my ghost does the exact same thing I did last time, and then I come back and I'm
right. So it would be effectively 4v4.
It would be like more and more
this game. In this game's logic, where it's like you're like on your own team in this game's logic.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. The question that I have is, do you only have the shadow of the last time that you did, or of every single time? Because it sounded to me like it was every time you die, you've got more of that. You know what I mean? Like, do you have multiple clones going on?
Yeah, like
I don't know.
Can you die more than twice?
Yeah, and it's like, because if so, you could honestly set up some like weird things where you intentionally die a lot of times repeatedly, and then like have barrages set up that are like shooting.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's a trap.
Yeah, exactly. So it could be interesting. Depends how they implement all this stuff, but like could be cool.
True.
It's not going to be for me personally, regardless, just because shooters, you know. But like Mitch was interested in it, so he also was interested in Murphy's Law, and Sam he didn't like it.
Oof. I don't know if I'm taking a risk on this one. Only way I'm playing this is, I guess, if me and Bob stream it.
True. Yeah, could be fun. We'll find out. This is the one.
This one upset me. Because they call it's like a freaking this the one?
This is the one I was thinking of.
They called it's literally the one I'm thinking of. This might be it, where they said it was a debt simulator or whatever.
Oh yeah, I mean it sounds like it, and so this charming game isn't what you might expect. You play as a person who's trying to pay off your debt.
Yeah,
but at night you can transform into one of 4 animals. You'll use that animal's skills to uncover a murder and attempt to pay off your loan.
I hate this game.
If that wasn't enough, your main form of transportation is riding sheep. This game releases on Nintendo Switch sometime soon. Here's the thing: who was it? It was Bob. It was Bob who was saying, I think that. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was one of the Game Explain guys like John or something who was saying that like, what if there was a murder in Animal Crossing and you're secretly slowly trying to figure that? I think it might have been someone from Game Explain.
That sounds like
I think it was a John thing, but that would be. It kind of sounds like that joke idea that he had, where like secretly you're figuring out this murder going on in Animal Crossing this whole time, but in this you actually are figuring out a murder and there's animals and you're paying off your loan.
This game upsets me. The fact that they called it a freaking debt repayment simulator or whatever, I was like, yeah, this is like very blatant. Like,
yeah, because like that's one of those things you know about in Animal Crossing, but you don't really talk about as the main. I mean, like people talk about, but they don't talk about.
Nobody calls Animal Crossing a debt repayment simulator. No one.
No,
not a single soul.
Yeah, and I don't know. Again, like maybe just. Maybe it's not the final graphics and stuff, but because it's trying to, be this big, a 3D world kind of thing, some of it really just looks a little bit ugly. But whatever, maybe it's just because it's in development and et cetera, and it'll look better later. But yeah, this one's not for me, I don't think.
Send me a code. I do want to make a video about this game because it upsets me.
You should do it. But yeah, next up, Last Campfire. This one I'm quite interested in, and we have seen this one before. I remembered seeing it. I think at another.
I thought so when
a long time
ago. I don't remember ever seeing this game, but when I saw Sean Murray on screen, I was like, "No Man's Sky," and then he started talking about some other crap, and I was like, "I don't care about this game anymore." And then I saw Pillow Man, and I was like, "Okay, maybe I do care about this game." And now it's like a.
I want to play as Pillow Man. Yeah.
I mean, look at him. He's like a pillow. He's like
pillow.
a pillowcase.
I know. That's why I want to play as Pillow Man.
He's Pillow Man.
Oh yeah, it looks good. It looks pretty and moving. And this is the only one that actually had music in the trailer, so it like felt good, you know. But and it's like a puzzle game, I think, for the most part.
Yeah, it
and
gave me like
cute.
Zelda vibes, but like also kind of like Dark Souls, but not Dark Souls, you know? Like not hard like Dark Souls, like you're not freaking getting stabbed to death or whatever.
Well, and I don't even know if there's I can't remember if there's combat and stuff in this game. It felt like it was just a puzzle game, but yeah, I mean, I can see the Dark Souls vibe as far as just like
the
a desolate world, right? Yeah. And like that there's, you know, nobody else around, that kind of thing, the isolation but it kind of builds up over time. I don't know. So I'm into it. I'm down. It looks pretty and cute. Next up, Pixel Junk Eden 2. Here, how many more are there left? Because some of these will start going faster.
Yeah, I don't even remember that.
I think a bunch of these ones
was like in the real. Yeah.
So we'll go through the real ones super fast. Pixel Junk Eden, honestly, I don't know.
You know,
it's something. It reminds me of.
I blacked out during this part.
Yeah,
it's. I saw this, but I didn't see the titles and stuff like that. I was like, okay, gameplay.
Yeah. It seems like a evolution simulator kind of a thing where like things grow into
like
others.
Spore.
Yeah, I think that's the one I'm thinking of. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know anything about it because I never played it. But yeah, there's that. It's a game. All right, we'll go fast through these ones.
This is the one that looks like Hearthstone.
Looks like Hearthstone, which means I would probably enjoy it, but I'm not going to play it.
I don't care.
Yep.
Not what you just said, but I mean about this game.
Right. I don't even care if you'll like it.
Yeah.
I mean, send me a code, whatever, I'll play it. But no, I like card games in real life more so than card games in this kind of thing.
Just like you, yeah, that's it. And even that, I like fell off.
Yeah, you did.
Season 2, I was done. I was like, all right, I'm over it.
Eldest Souls, lots of people are really interested in this one. It's like a Dark Souls boss rush.
Bob spent this segment trying to see if this was made by the people that made Titan Souls.
Was it?
No.
Yeah. Also, the fact that it sounds so close to Elder Scrolls, I thought was just funny.
That's what we were talking about. Yep. He was talking about Titan Souls, but I was like, it sounds like both of those. Like, it just sounds like something that they're like, people like Elder Scrolls and people like Dark Souls and Titan Souls and you know, like, let's make it sound like that. Let's put a familiar seed in their mind.
Honestly, that seems pretty powerful. Like, I don't doubt it, because it seems like, I mean, also people seem to enjoy watching. I thought it looked pretty cool as well. But yeah, I mean, it seems like, I don't know if it's just it does say it's a boss rush battler. So boss rushes I don't always love that, just because I like to have worlds to explore and stuff. So boss rushes don't quite feel like the same thing, but could be cool. Yeah. Moving fast. Blair Witch. It's Blair Witch, but on Switch. So not for me, but cool. Look at that. Ghost of a Tale. Zero clue what this is.
Don't even remember that. I saw the on the topic of Blair Witch. I was like, what? Because I thought it was an Xbox exclusive, but I guess not.
I don't know. Not. Well, I mean, there's a lot of Xbox exclusives.
That's true, but I feel like they didn't make an adequately big deal about that for it to be that, you know.
That's true. So that one, whatever this is, I don't know. Ghost of a Tale. It's something. So. This stealth game has you playing as an adorable little mouse as you make your way through rat-controlled dungeons. It was already available on other platforms, but it finally comes to Nintendo Switch Spring 2020. Cool. Neato. Sky Children of Light. Is
this the Journey game? Is this the one that looked like Journey?
I think so. And this one looked pretty. I'd be into this, I think. I don't really know what the full mechanics of it is. I watched a trailer afterwards to check it out a little bit more, and it didn't show me that much more about it, but it says in this gorgeous world, you can grab hold of your loved one's hands and soar through the clouds. It finally comes to Nintendo Switch in summer 2020. I don't know what that means as far as overall stuff, but that's cool.
I also don't know what finally means. Like, were people anticipating this game?
That's a good question. I mean, when I looked up a trailer, there was a trailer from like last year, I think. So I guess maybe that. Skyrocket. Yep, there it is.
Sure. Okay.
That's the thing. You choose between playing as Racket Girl or Racket Boy as you dodge and attack incoming foes. It can be played in single player or local co-op modes. This colorful side scroller launches on.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Nintendo Switch today.
This is one of they said that a couple of times. Where like this, and it's funny because it's like when me and Bob heard local co-op, we were immediately turned off as if we were planning to play these games before they said that. But
man.
It was just like the freaking nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
It's like, yep, we're definitely not. I wasn't going to play it before, but I'm definitely not going to play it now.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like, check it out if you like local co-op stuff, side scroller, shmup, beat 'em up sorts of things, I guess. That seems like that's in line with that. Superliminal, I've seen a bunch of trailers for this one on other consoles before.
These people don't know how to spell. They mean subliminal.
You're so dumb. This one looks, I don't know if I'm going to play this one, but it looks really cool to me just in concept alone. Like you move things around and like because of depth perception, they become bigger, or like if something, it's like optical illusions and stuff. Yeah. And like, I think I love optical illusions. And so this is really cool to me. We'll see. I don't know. There it is.
Send them a code.
Send them a code. Wingspan. Collecting birds. Cards of birds. Sure.
No thanks.
It's
made them Pokemon. Maybe I would have cared.
Yep. Dicey Dungeons also, yeah, whatever, turn-based game with some dice and some stuff.
No thanks.
Looks
Should have made it Pokemon.
But, yeah, it looks cutesy, but like I'm good. But thank you for inventing it. Bouncy Battle? I don't know. I'm ready to be almost
sounds inappropriate.
Yes. True. Moving out. This one, I
wanted to play this game. This game looks neat.
It's the creators of Overcooked and Overcooked 2. Okay, because I was like, this just reminds me of the Get Packed game, which is the second time we've seen this at somewhere, I think. Or I mean, I've seen this.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this. This game. I knew this game existed.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that should be fun. It launches April 28th. And then last but not least, Exit the Dungeon. Exit the Gungeon. I enjoyed Enter the Gungeon. I don't know if I'll play this one because like I feel like I could just actually try to beat Enter the Gungeon at some point.
I never played Enter the Gungeon. I got a code for this game. I played a little bit of it. I like it. It's neat.
Yeah. It's pretty, at least I feel like Enter the Gungeon is pretty challenging. And 2 players is kind of easier, but only if the other person also knows how to play single player pretty well, because like, it's kind of like Cuphead where like having a bad second player screws you up more than it helps.
Yeah.
You. So, and there you go. That was everything announced at the Indie World presentation.
Indie World, March 17th, 20.
We always try to go through those kind of fast, but like,
it's impossible.
So much stuff.
It is. It's not even possible.
Probably picking and choosing would be better, but yeah, whatever. We do.
Yeah. In the notes, it says PS5 thing. Sony. So did you pay attention to this?
I watched probably half of it off and on in the background while I worked.
So this was, and like, so people, I feel like my timeline was like split in half on Twitter of people being like, this is boring. And then other people being like, this is super interesting. And I really like hearing Mark Cerny talk about freaking flops, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like, no. Like it just like seemed like such a bad marketing move, you know?
I think it was 100% that. It wasn't necessarily like, it sounds like it was a good presentation for if they were doing it at GDC for game developers.
And I tweeted, I was basically like, I don't know why they're streaming this like, to the general public. And then Max replied, and then Max was like, it's a GDC talk. I was like, yes, I'm aware. And that's that's exactly why I don't know why they're streaming this to the public. And it's like, people being like, well, GDC got canceled and they had the content, blah, blah, blah. But like, look at what Nintendo does when their events get canceled. They're not like, okay, well, we're just going to screen the thing as is, you know, like for whatever reason, like when they take stuff out because of sensitive topics or whatever, right? They rework the direct to make it fit, like, as a new product.
they also, in the same way that Nintendo before Labo was like, we're going to announce something and it's going to be for kids. So like, get ready that it's going to be for kids.
Exactly.
Or with Ring Fit Adventure, like they gave a trailer and they're like, there's going to be a thing. It's going to be kind of weird. Get ready for it. Like setting expectations like that.
And they had like little hints almost that like if you're into GDC and you know like you're into the developer heavy stuff, or even like you're like us where you're like on the inside like making content about the industry and stuff like that, right? We knew that it was from the GDC talk, right? But everybody that sees the title of the video being Road to PS5 and just a PS5 logo and a black freaking, it's like this super like ambiguous thing of like, oh man, this is going to be hype. I wonder if we're going to see the box. I wonder if we're going to see the controller, you know, like those type of questions and stuff. But then we hear freaking Mark Cerny talk an hour about stuff that nobody that's listening. Okay, not nobody. 0.5% of people that are watching this thing, if that, no, there was 600,000. 0.0001% of people actually knew what he was talking about. It just had a small inclination. There's people that built like and I was talking about this with somebody else. Like there's people that like they frequent PCPartPicker.com and they're like they think they're like real smart. They're like, I know what a gigahertz is, you know, like that type of stuff. Like they think they knew what he was talking about. Yeah, but they caught like small glimpses, you know. That was such a useless thing. And then like even the part that they released after the fact where it's like, here's the specs. It's funny, one of the things that I just was observing about it too was there was a very long lead up to, and also just as an aside, like I know we don't even talk about PlayStation and Xbox and all that stuff that much, but like I don't think this is any reflection on the quality of the console. AJ, you don't think that either. It's just marketing, that's, you know. Exactly. And that's like how I'm framing, like as far as like, this is why I want to talk about it, because like it is related to Nintendo in the sense that like they understand a lot better than they used to when Directs first started. Like what makes sense to stream to 600,000 concurrent viewers. You know, like, and this was not it, Chief. You know, like it was like I feel like it's going to be like bolstered by like the Sony fanboys that are just like, yeah, numbers, Sony, yeah, like that sort of thing. Well, the funny thing with that too is like I was starting to say, he spent a really long time explaining ahead of time, pretty much like, I'm about to give you a teraflop number that's not going to be as high as Xbox Series X. Like he didn't say those words, but that was like definitely the subtext. And then explaining why, but that numbers doesn't mean as much as you think it does, which is sure, like that could be true. I don't really know. But at the same time, like you don't need to just come out with it. You know, like, and also like I feel like that's been their messaging since the Pro. And it's so weird like how this generation is like mirrored, because last gen it was like everybody was on board, like all Xbox Xbox Series X needs to do to be PlayStation 4 of last generation, like as far as like their messaging, is be cheaper. That's all that needs to be different, because last generation, everybody was saying like, oh, power matters because PlayStation is more powerful and blah, blah. And like, we have this many teraflops, you know, like the PlayStation fans were talking about teraflops. Now PlayStation fans are like, teraflops don't matter. They don't mean everything, blah, blah. And like with the Pro, he was saying like 4K, like we don't always get native 4K, but there's freaking letterboxing and stuff like that, or checkerboarding or whatever. I don't remember what the term was that he specifically was talking about. But yeah, he was like, oh, with this technology, we're able to emulate it within a margin of error that you're not going to like depict the difference between. And people do. You know, like it's very obvious that the Scorpio is more powerful than Pro, you know? And I think that that's most likely going to be the case here. I think that like the SSD will have certain advantages and stuff like that, but overall it's going to be obvious that the Xbox is more powerful than the PlayStation or whatever. I think, I mean, like you said, the price thing too, it'll be interesting to see whether the Lockhart rumors end up being true, because if that's the case, then Xbox both has the strongest system and the cheapest system on the market. They're not the same system, but they've got both of them. And then I wonder what the difference is there, right? Like I wonder if the Lockhart is like $50 cheaper than the PlayStation 5, but still like either as powerful or a little less or even a little more powerful. Like I wonder what effect
my guess from just, I don't know, things in conversation or whatever, is that it would be substantially cheaper, but also a good deal weaker, where it's like they're pretty much the Series X they're making the Xbox One X, and then,
okay,
and then they'll come out with Xbox One, where it's like they can both run the same games, but like it looks better. Whereas right now PS5 is leaning heavy into, this is essentially skipping to the PS5 Pro, that kind of a.
Because if they do. Basically, like, I wonder if what they're going to do, because right now the Xbox Series X or whatever is like, what, 2-point-something teraflops higher than the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
The Xbox One X was 6 teraflops or whatever. So, like, what is the Lockhart going to be? 8?
Probably, that would be my guess. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. But I think the big picture, like you said, the marketing is just like, everything. I think PlayStation set up, and I think all companies do this, set up their marketing ahead of time. We're like, we're going to hit this beat, then this beat, then this beat, then this beat, then, and then they are just sticking to that like too strong. Whereas Xbox is like, we'll just say Thanksgiving. Like they'll just.
And they even like, see, the thing is like, I feel like companies used to do that, but companies that are effective in 2020. Pivot. And pivot hard. Like they're like, oh no, okay, we're not doing GDC anymore. Okay, we'll rework this. We're gonna delay this thing. We're gonna do like with Nintendo with Earthquakes or whatever, right? Like they didn't just say like, okay, we'll just repurpose this direct and we'll upload exactly this direct. They took stuff out, they added stuff, like, and it's very obvious that they changed the direct that we were going to get.
Well, funnily enough, I think Sony is the most kind of by the books company of the three right now. I mean, this obviously shows it, but like even just with their consoles, every time it just seems like here's just, I mean, we've said it before, but like, there's not much new imagination going into it. It's kind of just copy pasting, but stronger, which is fine, but also means that they can be kind of caught with their pants down more easily, I guess, or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. But I also am curious to see if Nintendo even cares about PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X or whatever. If they're just like, nah, man, we're just chilling with Switch, We're not even doing a Switch Pro.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I mean, definitely now, like people were I already didn't think a Switch Pro was coming out this year. Lots of people didn't seem to think it was coming out this year. It's definitely not coming out this year now. No. Like obviously considering everything going on, but but even whether it's going to happen later down the road, I don't know. It comes with its own complications that the Switch Lite also came with, but they went ahead and did it anyway. So I don't think there's anything saying that they like absolutely would or wouldn't one way or another, because they're fine with some weird oddity. So I don't know, but yeah, there's that. Hey, you know what? We made some videos.
We did.
And you made one and people made comments and we want to talk about those comments.
I did, they did, and we do.
That's so true. Let's do this thing. Any thoughts on your video before we get going?
Animal Crossing, dude, like, honestly, I thought, like, before Animal Crossing came out, and I'm talking, like, 2-3 months or whatever, I was like, I wonder how I'm going to make videos about Animal Crossing. But now it's getting to the point where, like, almost on the level of Pokemon, where it's like, I could, if I really needed to, make videos about Animal Crossing and still, like, not force it,
Yeah, right.
Which is good.
It's
good to know.
It is good indeed. Cool. Well, first comment is from Otaku D, who said, the biggest thing I struggle with this series is the what am I meant to do thing. I'm hoping the Miles system helps with this. I really don't invest much time in a decorations/collection unless it actually has a purpose, like adds gameplay or unlocks features, etc.
So how are you like dealing with it? Like, do you feel like that at all?
I mean, for now, definitely not yet. And I also am wondering the same thing, especially by the point where it's like, oh, well, I've got a bunch of people in my town now, and I've got, that kind of thing. Like everything's kind of set up the way I want it. Like, I don't know what that's going to look like then, but right now it's really easy to see. I mean, if nothing else, just like, oh, I'm just going to go catch all the bugs around here. And there's immediate goals that I need to do, like bring a certain amount of fossils to Blathers and, like try to get across the river, which I've done at this point, and all those kinds of things, like just small goals that I'm aware of. But the Nook Miles, I think, are really helpful with that. And also when you get the Nook Miles Plus, that helps out with that too, which is just like micro goals, like not, it's just like, hey, honestly, here's a thought. I think Animal Crossing New Horizons, I don't know how this compares to old games in this regard, but it feels like it's taken some nods from the perpetuality of mobile games, maybe including maybe including Pocket Camp. I don't know, because I barely played that one.
The mini, like the Nook Miles, they basically push you toward doing the bigger goals, like the Nook Miles Plus, I should say. They push you towards doing the bigger goals of Nook Miles, which are, they used to be like internal goals, and I talked about this in like one of my videos where it's like they used to be a thing of like, well, I care about this game, I care about this village, so I want to do this thing, or I want to make sure that this isn't there, or that this isn't, like the weeds or whatever, right? Yeah. Not wanting your weeds to be there is because you don't want your villagers complaining about it, and you think it looks gross and like all that stuff. Yeah. So I'm taking these weeds out of here. But now you get rewarded by way of currency for removing the weeds and stuff, right? And like that's the extra mile that New Horizons specifically is going. I don't know if Pocket Camp specifically is like, oh, okay, yeah, this is why we're doing that, right? Because we learned that people like having like objectives or whatever.
But it definitely I mean, I also, as far as games I was playing this week, I play my mobile, the like ball bouncing game sometimes, and then also like finally caved and downloaded another game that I see ads for that I'm always like, this game looks dumb, and it is pretty dumb, but it's like it just passes the time. And like just noticing how many I mean, because it's like an RPG-esque one within, it's not Raid Shadow Legends, but probably within that sort of type of a mobile game.
We don't speak that.
We just did.
That word here.
We just did. The blah, 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 blah. But yeah, just realizing in that game, like, oh my goodness, every single thing I do, they're like, hey, you did that thing. Good job for doing that thing. I'm like, well, cool. Awesome. Yeah, I did it. I sure did. You better believe it. Like, and I feel like Animal Crossing is reminding me of that sort of feeling of reward, like you said. So
yeah. I also like unrelated, but every time you do something, like you freaking fish and you get a fish and you catch it, if you're around a villager, they clap for you. They're like, yeah, man.
Oh really? I missed that. I'm very excited. I need to do that now. It's so far I'm not.
Wait, have you not crafted anything like in Nooks?
Yeah, I've crafted stuff.
So yeah, did you do it outside on the like makeshift craft?
I did both. I guess I just didn't notice.
Okay, so yeah,
Nook does it.
Watch Nook and his freaking indentured servant when you're crafting, and like you'll see it. Like they do it, and also just general villagers do it too when they see you do a thing. It's great.
Indeed. I'm trying to get these to focus. They don't want to focus because for some reason. Oh, well, it don't matter. Timmy and Tommy, have a good time. For everybody audio listening, I've got Timmy and Tommy amiibo and just holding them up in front of the camera, trying to get them to focus.
Yeah.
I'm done with that. Good enough. Yeah. Seems like they're doing a good job with that. But I can understand how that would be a challenge for some people. And because, like, I don't know how much I care about the decorations and whatever either. I would need to have a goal of this is what I want this place to look like. But I think that'll come organically as well.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Where I was talking about the orange end table, that
yes,
part,
right,
that people liked.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like. Like playing this game, I've unlocked certain DIY things, and I got like a wooden end table or whatever, and I had the Switch. I was like, I don't put this Switch on the ground. Why do I want to put the Switch on the ground? And
I have it on a cardboard
I
box.
was like, oh, that fits with the rest of the stuff that I got. I'll make that end table, you know? So it's like you organically get goals by like, oh, that thing looks like something that I would actually purchase. And if it's along the lines of like the sort of decorations that I have already that I like, so I'm going to put that in my house or whatever.
True.
Or at least that's how I did it. I'm sure that there's like, you know, like super hardcore Animal Crossing people and they're looking up all the decorations and they're like, I'm going to unlock this decoration and I want this room to look like this. But like, I'm just playing it as I go. And then like when I unlock something and I'm like, that looks great. Or I see something in a store that looks great. And I buy that. And then I know where I want to put it because contextually, that's why I like what it looks like, you know?
Yep.
Because I'm like just devoid from anything. I'm not like, you know, randomly wanting to buy like a chandelier when I have nowhere to put a chandelier, you know?
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yep. Next comment is from Eric Andreski, who says, you feeling disconnected to the player character in old games because, maybe it means like you're feeling disconnected to the player character in old games because of the lack of skin tone customization is not a nitpick. Representation of all groups is important to the psychological health of the respective people of those groups because it makes them feel normal or accepted by being in mass media forms like AAA games.
It's funny because like somebody replied to him in the exact same way that I was like, I brought that up because that's how I felt. And it wasn't like a thing of like, not necessarily with like what he's saying, where it's like, I felt like, you know, where it was this
like
thing,
a
like I don't feel like I see
or
myself or whatever, right? And I don't think it was like that where it's like I can't well, yeah, it kind of was like a thing of like I can't relate to this character, not necessarily because they're not the same skin tone as me, but because this specific character is supposed to be me, right? And
it's
like
not,
I'm not like I don't want to play Mario because I can't identify with Mario. It's like in a life simulation game where I can't simulate my life. You know, like it just doesn't really make me care about wanting to customize this character. And I'm not really the type of person that'd be like, I want to make a OC or whatever. Like if I'm playing a game like that, I'm just going to make myself. You know?
I mean, that's like D&D for me feels like a similar kind of thing where I feel like most people, the first D&D campaigns they do, it's like, this is pretty much going to be me in this world. And then eventually, once you've done that enough times and enough campaigns where it's like, okay, I'm sick of playing, or I'm not sick of playing, but like I've got a feel for what it would be like if me was in that world. But then like, cause I was talking to my cousin who was like, yeah, I've played a tiny bit of D&D, but like not a whole lot. And I don't really get it when people say like, well, I don't know, but my character did this. And he's like, yeah, but you are that character. So like, you can do whatever you want. It's like, no, my character did this. And like, I get that too, where if you wanted to, you could play in a certain way to where it's like, my character is he's a bad guy, and so like I'd have to think like my character would think. But for life sim kind of games, that's not the point. Like you want to play as, or like in Zelda or whatever, like, you know, you're gonna play as Boy Zelda, and imagine what it would be like if you were controlling Boy Zelda doing Boy Zelda things. But
and then it's like,
in this,
even,
it's like
even like even with that like analogy, right, with like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. Like that, if you never got the chance to do the version of you, right, you're going to want to do that. And that's how like Animal Crossing was for me. Or it's like, I didn't like flat out was like, I'm not going to play this game, but I didn't get like in deep with that aspect of the game of like, I want to customize this character to look like that, because I didn't really care what the character looked like because the character wasn't me. So it was like, I don't really freaking care. But like maybe 3 Animal Crossings down the road after me being me for 3 games, I'm like, I'm tired of me. I want to be somebody else, you know? But now I'm still in the phase of like, I get to be me now. That's pretty dope, you know?
That is cool.
So,
hey, I'm with you. I'm hoping that beards get unlocked eventually.
Yeah, there was a lot, and that was the thing. Did you see that? Did you see the comments for this video? This video is, and that's why I tweeted about that, where it's like the Animal Crossing fan base is like entirely different from most other fan bases, where like if I said, I don't know if freaking, like the analogy I said, if I don't know if snakes in Smash Brothers or whatever, and then Smash Brothers fans would be like, you don't know anything, you freaking don't even do your research or whatever, right? I said, I don't know if beards are in this game or whatever, right? And then everybody's like, good news, their beards. Whereas, like, again, if it was Smash Brothers, you're stupid. They clearly announced it on the second direct that, like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that was a nice change of pace.
That is nice. Good job, Animal Crossing folks. You're fun. Well, cool. I'm glad beards are there.
It's apparently beards are an accessory, and also they're like you can do like a tattoo situation where you can like draw your beard on.
Okay.
So yeah,
I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down indeed. Next comment's from Layla Peterson, who said, "Great video.
Thanks.
For some reason, when you talked about finally getting to customize your character to look like you with skin tones, etc., that made me really happy. The game is released. The game is released midnight on the 19th for me, and I'm so excited. I have the day off and the entire weekend off after the release, which means I can play all night and not worry about my sleeping schedule. I wasn't planning on resetting when I create my island, but I might just have to do it depending on the starting villagers. We'll see. Have fun playing."
I will. You too.
Wholesome comment.
Most of them are. I don't. Yeah. Matter of fact, probably all of them. I don't know. I didn't. I'm pretty sure all of them are wholesome.
Yep. You didn't reset it all, right?
No.
The only reason I kind of wish that I did. Ashley and I have the same fruit, so like that would have been pretty easy for us to get different fruit, and like, but I wouldn't have wanted her to have to reset because your first time. Well, I mean, it was my first time too, but at least like I don't know, whatever.
Like you understand it more.
Yeah, right. I'm like, yeah.
Also know more people that you can just like freaking DM and be like, yo, give me this fruit.
It's true. So you can plant new fruits though, can't you?
Yes, exactly. Okay. That's why I was like, yo, I told, what did Bob has like peaches or pears or one of those or something.
Things got
That's something that I don't have. I was like, yo, hit me up with one of them. And he's like, all right. Give me your thing. And I was like, okay. So I'm getting peaches from Bob.
Nice. Millions of peaches. Peaches for free.
From you.
Yep.
I'm getting Dan. I think Dan has something different too.
But I was gifted some cherries from, I think, my mom in the game. I don't know. I need to figure out what to do with those. Wild. Plant them, I guess.
I don't think I get. Yeah, you just dig a hole in the ground and you put the cherry in there.
Oh, I'm going to do that.
And there you go. And then they sell for more money.
Oh, nice.
The only like foreign fruit, fruit. Well, I guess it's a fruit that doesn't sell for significantly more as coconuts, but coconuts do sell for more. But they don't recognize them as like foreign fruit in the same way.
Interesting. I wonder why.
I have coconut trees now.
Fancy. Yeah. Next comment from Canadian Food said, I never liked making characters. Oh, this is interesting. This is the opposite. Yeah.
That's why
I never liked making characters that look like me in games. I'll stick with my usual black female character with this game, the same as any game with character customization. I just don't want to play a skinny white guy in my games if I have the choice.
I think that's kind of like what I talked about before. Wait, both of us talked about before.
Yeah.
Though, because it's like, it's probably because you play like skinny white guy in a lot of video games.
Yeah, I can see that.
So like if you never got to it, it's different. And I can't necessarily say that like whenever I see a game that's like, oh, I get to be a black guy, I'm playing this game. I don't know. It doesn't really happen like that. It's just like games that I want to play anyway. Like when I could customize my skin tone in Pokemon, I was freaking amped, dude. I was like, what? I need to be brown. No.
Yeah. I mean, because like, especially with Pokemon and Animal Crossing, the goal is kind of like, I want to feel like I'm in that world doing the things that I want to be doing. So like, if you feel like it's actually you in that world, like that's part of the incentive.
Yeah, like completes the whole thing,
Indeed. But yeah, that was it for the comments from your video. Any closing thoughts?
See you next week, Animal Crossing fans. Stay beautiful.
Indeed. Cool. Moving on to the next one. Here's my video. Man, I have conflicting thoughts about things.
The video or just the performance of the video?
Less the performance. I'm fine with, I knew like, and maybe it will perform well in the long run. We'll just find out. But the video itself, I just like, first of all,
this video was like
it was
a lot closer to the to the deadline than normal.
Yeah, definitely that. And like, so here are some of the struggles with it. Number one, it's just been a crazy week. So I didn't finish my script until normally the process for me is
your video is usually like at the latest exporting like overnight the day before.
Yep, exactly. So I usually have my script done by like ideally by the end of my work day, and I'll work on it like between work things on Tuesday or Wednesday whenever I'm making the video, and then I'll record it and do the stuff whichever one of those nights. So typically like by 4 p.m. or maybe by 6 if I have to work on it later. I wasn't done with the script until Wednesday at 8 p.m. and then I recorded all this stuff and I started to edit it, and then at 10:30 I was like, I know I'm going to have so much more to do. I'm just going to work on it tomorrow because I'm super tired from the week and I have to get up early and have a call first thing in the morning for work. So I did that and then worked on it kind of throughout the day the next day. And then that was a thing. But then also I think it was just because this is a video that I knew I wanted to make a video about Golden Sun for a really long time, but like at the same time, never really stopped to really put a lot of thoughts together. And it's been so long since I've actually played the games that like the thoughts aren't like super fresh on my mind. So I just like as I was writing stuff, I was like, these are fine thoughts.
A topic that should have, or that you initially, when you thought of the idea for the video, you thought this is going to be an easy video to write and blah, blah. It turned into something that you did have to like kind of research.
Yeah. And like research and like kind of pull out and I don't know, figure out that kind of stuff. So that was, that was just interesting. So, and I knew like the fact that I haven't played Dark Dawn also meant that like, if anybody has played those, like you said with Smash Bros, people have like, oh, what are you talking about?
Play Dark Dawn, fake fan. How are you going to?
Which luckily, there weren't really that many comments that were any comments that were that tone. Some of them were like, well, you were definitely wrong on this kind of thing, and I pulled some of those, but they were nice about it, so that was good. So yeah. And then the last thing too, and this will be more apparent as we talk about it, is sort of the decision that I came to about it was pretty much that within the action point, they would stick more closely to the originals if they in an imaginary remake. But like the point of us making videos isn't always like, Nintendo, here's the thing that you probably would be most likely marketing wise or whatever to do. It's more like, hey, let's just have fun and create some stuff. Yeah. And I don't feel like I leaned into that very much. So I was like,
especially now, because like, I don't feel like they're most likely to just lean into the originals. A lot of times they lean hard away from, especially the ones that that become like the you know, like the standouts, the Breath of the Wilds, right? Where it's like, oh, you like this about the original game? It's not in this one though. Like how temples and dungeons, whatever you want to call them, are not in Breath of the Wild, you know, like that sort of thing. Or like Pokemon with like no random encounters. Well, no random encounters in like the more traditional sense. And a lot of other stuff that Pokemon does. A lot of the Switch has been like about reinventing franchises. So so that's as I was making, and it was kind of too late as I was making it too, so throughout a lot of the process I was just like, I just feel bad because I don't like the way that I'm leaning into this, but like it's thoughts that I do have and that are realistic but just aren't as entertaining for viewers, and especially ones of the series, because I think like people who care about Golden Sun are excited. We're excited to watch a video that was about Golden Sun because it was made, but probably not at the actual real, like where I landed on stuff. And that's like kind of defeats the purpose. So nevertheless, ideally I'd like to make another one in the future. And it'll be probably in a while, and I'll have thought about it a lot longer over periods of time, and it also won't perform probably that well, and that's okay. I care. Mean, it might perform better than it. I mean, it's doing fine. It's not number 10. It's not number 5, but it's not number 10.
So in any case, but I appreciate everybody that commented. You have some really good thoughts, and everybody was saying, go ahead and go play Dark Dawn. It's not as good as the first two, but it's great. So I'll play it at some point. So here is some comments. First one from Clocked It said, you can still easily pick up Dark Dawn, and although it doesn't reach the heights of the first two games, it's still worth a play unto itself and carries on the story of Isaac and his children quite well. And seeing as you want more Golden Sun but haven't played Dark Dawn, then you have that as an option. True. As for the game taking a Bravely Default or Octopath route, even in graphical style, I think this completely misses the point on what's unique about Golden Sun. Camelot are the old school Shining Force guys, and you'll see a lot of what makes Golden Sun so unique and great in those games as well. Shame you didn't talk about how great the summons are as well, because they stack up to Final Fantasy and Grandia too in terms of awesomeness, and I'd argue some of them in the Golden Sun top those series. In terms of reputation, Xenoblade has now become Nintendo's main RPG series outside of Fire Emblem, and I'm not sure they'd give Camelot the budget to do a full-on new Golden Sun entry, but I'll always keep the hope alive. Good video.
All that makes sense. All the stuff I understand, you know, like I don't really have context in like the summons and like the point of Golden Sun. Because like I have one Golden Sun game. I have Golden Sun, I think it's the original game on the Wii U.
Okay, yeah.
And I played approximately 6 minutes or something like that. Like I turned the game on. There was a lot of talking. I was like, I don't care about any of this. And I turned it off.
Yeah, the intro, it's definitely kind of talky in the intro.
I mean, it's an RPG.
It's an RPG, but it's approachable RPG, I'd say. Kind of similar like to Dragon Quest 10 or Dragon Quest 11, but you know, back in those days, as far as it seems like that's like classic but does it great kind of a thing is the vibe that I was getting from people on that one. So I mean, yeah, all of these comments too that I didn't talk about the summons. I mentioned the Jinn obviously, but not like I mentioned they can summon things and that's about it. But yeah, the summons are super cool. At least in the first two. Again, haven't played Dark Dawn, and I assume they're even better probably. But what was I gonna say? Bravely Default and Octopath route, even in graphical style. So my guess for the comments there is that you're saying not to, and some other people said this as well, like, because I was saying probably keep the scope smaller and don't make it this big, like huge world thing, which again, I kind of regret saying that, except for whatever. Well, here we are. I think it would be challenging to make that feel like, because I think you could lean into like Octopath, where that felt like a $60 game to anybody that like actually played it. It felt worth its money. So, but like, how do you do that in general, like without specific examples with those kinds of games these days? You know, I
think the danger with these videos is a lot of times established fans of franchise that you're saying this should come back or this should be more popular. They come in with the expectation that you're basically like trying to sell people on what the game currently is, where like that isn't going to work. That's not effective. A freaking multi-billion-dollar company couldn't sell people on the game as it already is. So you got to change it to be more appealing to the masses. That doesn't necessarily mean you entirely change it, but there's things you got to change about it, you know? Like when I've in the past made like the video about F-Zero or whatever, right? Where it's like, here are the things that like I think could feasibly change and still be like F-Zero, but also be more marketable to the public, you know?
I think that was like my second fanatixfour video that I ever watched, by the way. So it sticks in my mind a lot. It was a fun one. But yes, go on.
But that's like the balance that I try to strike, especially like since like and I know that like as far as like being a hardcore fan of literally anything, I'm kind of like abnormal in that regard, where it's like I would prefer the things that I like a lot to change a lot, you know, rather than to like just give me another version of the same thing.
Right. Well, the interesting thing here too is I think in his comment, he's actually saying that like, because I was sort of saying keeping it more similar, whereas he's saying actually change it up more. Yeah.
I'm not saying I disagree with him. I'm saying I disagree with you. Or,
yeah, right. Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, where I think that the idea of like you said before, making a video like this is kind of pointless, because like the game already exists in the way that it does, and it didn't do well, so it needs to be something else, So yeah.
Yep.
I'm excited to see Golden Sun Part 2.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, good comment. Great thoughts all over. Next up.
Oh my God. Hold on. This just in. The Sonic movie is being released on the 31st of this month. Because of March.
Like on DVD or?
Digitally.
Okay. Wow.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's pretty fast. Well, also Onward, which we were going to go see in theaters and then didn't end up seeing, is coming to Disney Plus.
What?
Like April 3rd. It's coming digital this weekend, and then Disney Plus, April 3rd. Which, probably
the Link app is out too for Animal Crossing.
Oh, cool. Nice. Look at that.
About that in my. Well, actually, no. You talk about it in your video. Your video is closer than mine.
My video is closer, but I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, if I use it, then I'll talk about it. I will. I will try. There we go. That'll be that. Next comment. This is from Kalam Nozales. I probably said your name wrong. Thanks for being nice anyway. Said the critics, or to be honest, the critics the critiques that Dark Dawn gets for its story are often blown out of proportion. It has its flaws, of course, but in the end, it's quite good and really picks up high once you reach the final parts. I agree that civilization seems to come out of nowhere, but it's just the same ancient civilization, quote unquote, that built the temples we see in the first games. We just learn a bunch more lore in Dark Dawn. I think the best way to reintroduce the series would be to remake the first two games into one. That way, it would make it safer to aim a little bit higher as far as production value is concerned. While I love Octopath's design, I think Golden Sun would gain going further down the 3D route. The craziest would be working with the environmental puzzles the way Breath of the Wild did. It kind of, but is out of scope. Yeah.
But that is way out of scope.
But that is way out of scope, yeah. Yeah,
I mean, honestly, yes.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the indie games that like we were talking about, that like they're like, oh man, this looks like a full like AAA game. This looks dope, and then they end up kind of looking bad. I think the reason why they try so hard to look like such a big thing is because it's a lot easier to sell people on a game that looks like that.
Yeah.
Like before even playing Breath of the Wild, people were amped for it because it looked like this grand experience. And like, that whole thing. It's a lot harder to get excited for something the scope of Golden Sun, especially in freaking 2020.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing that's funny is it's actually got a big scope in terms of like story and like content, whatever, but
like production.
Yes, exactly. But production values, it's like an amazing Game Boy Advance game, which is 20 years old. Right. So I mean, probably the way to go about this, even though I just talked about it being like not the best done at the beginning, but the Trials of Mana situation where like if they remade the first two games in more Dragon Quest sort of style or something, Dragon Quest 11 sort of style, something like that looks like big production budget and stuff, and then it would be figuring out the puzzles is really my big question, where like making those, I don't know. I mean, it's fine. Like there's some things where in RPGs, you just see like, oh, there's no reason I shouldn't be able to squeeze through that gap there, but I just can't. And so I have to move that thing, like whatever, just do that. Right. People kind of accept it, especially in RPGs. So I think they could lean into it and it would be fine. But yeah, remaking the first two like, as one.
I mean, I don't, because I haven't played the game, so I don't know. I can't really propose how to change the puzzles or whatever. Right. But maybe go that extra mile and figure out how to make it actually work in 3D. Because not only does that, like make it more appealing to the general public, it also makes it more worthwhile for you to replay because you got to refigure out the puzzle.
Right. Yeah, I mean, ideally the puzzles would actually be different if it got a remake or whatever. But I think, the more I think about it, that would be marketing wise, probably one of the better ways to go is reintroduce it, with, I mean, probably just the thing that sucks is the first game, but then like ideally they would do the first 2 games as a remake as one game and then a new game, and not also remake Dark Dawn, but like if there's story elements of Dark Dawn that need to be, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of complicated, how to do that, but that's a story for another day. And the environmental puzzles would definitely be cool, but I think kind of, I don't know that they could be physicsy in the same way that they are in Breath of the Wild, because of the fact that there's a lot of different keys to different locks in kind of the puzzle style that is in traditional Zeldas and Golden Sun, which is like using different synergies, spells, whatever, to be able to move things and all that kind of stuff. Breath of the Wild really only has like a couple of ingredients that you can do a ton of things with, and that's not true. I mean, it also has like chemical things, but
yeah, I
don't know. It's hard to say. I think that would be probably out of scope, like you said, but it would be cool if they could figure it out. I'd be down for it. Continuing on, because these comments are long and great, but we need to keep on moving. Falgor says, great video. Thanks a lot. Thanks. If I can try to be a bearer of good and possibly good news, the Golden Sun trademark was issued in 2018 and accepted in 2019. Another thing to take into account is the amount of time since the last Camelot game, Mario Tennis Aces, was released. It's unusually long, more time than it would take for them to make another Mario sports game. And the DLC doesn't change that much, as most of it was already done when the game was released. I should add the fact that one of the Takahashi brothers left the Aces team before the game was even released. He must have started to work on something else then, and they hinted they'd like to work on a JRPG again. Add to that the reference to Golden Sun in Mario Tennis Aces, a place uses the Japanese for the Soul Sanctum, and the Elemental Stars might align so soon. Probably soon. Winky face. Finally, not to dismiss the other possibilities, that's Mario Golf, but the sales of that last game, despite being on a very lively 3DS, were much more subpar than Dark Dawn's on a dying DS, and without much advertising, surprisingly. Who knows, man? I'm all into it. You know, I mean, unfortunately, I don't know that trademark stuff is, you know, doesn't mean much.
I mean, I don't know if I'm going to say usually, but a lot of times it doesn't.
Well, I guess more just for Nintendo, honestly, because of Smash, I feel like it kind of doesn't mean much a lot of times, because it ends up getting used in different, you know, ways and stuff. Right. But that's not to say that this could be one of the also fairly frequent times that it does mean something. So, and all the other things, I mean, you make good points. My guess would be that it's a Mario Golf next. I would much rather Golden Sun, obviously. So those are my thoughts on that. But good detective work.
How dare you rather Mario Golf?
I don't.
How dare you rather Mario Golf?
Tom Nook says, I don't. I got Tom Nook up there. All right, and then the last comment. This is from...
you should. No, I'm joking.
Nstar67 says, as someone who's played Dark Dawn, I really disagree with the series going the Final Fantasy or Bravely Second route, at least with Golden Sun 4 anyways. If we do that, then we're left on a cliffhanger that supposedly was going to lead into a fourth game that never happened. It would be like getting Golden Sun 1 and 2, or like Golden Sun 1 with 2 never coming out, which he's got a point that would be like, that was straight up a cliffhanger. I also think the idea of an Octopath art style isn't great, as I've never thought Golden Sun when I saw that. I saw 16-bit Final Fantasy. I saw 16-bit Final Fantasy. I'd once again hope for something more akin to Dark Dawn, but with more of the aesthetic of the first two, where it looks like a painting or drawing in a book if it's with its use of colors and lines.
Yeah, I don't think Nintendo cares about that sort of thing. Like, Max
sort of thing.
Max is always talking about how they got to do Metroid 5 because Metroid 4 ended on the whole thing. I don't think they care. I think that the story is like there because like fine, you know, but I don't think that they did that to be like, yeah, we're gonna like finish this epic off. And
I guess it depends too how micromanagey they are on some of that kind of stuff, where like maybe like Nintendo as a whole, I don't think necessarily cares, but maybe they're like, Camelot, you care? Okay, sure, whatever, go for it. Or like, Camelot, if you don't care, we don't really care either. You know, like that would be more my guess, where they will just let the kind of second parties deal with that sort of stuff a little bit more.
And see, but that's exactly why. See, well, no. I think that in this regard, like if they were to bring back Golden Sun, Nintendo's desire to make this game profitable would supersede their desire to like adhere to whatever Camelot's vision is or whatever.
It's a good point, especially if they want to make it like a tentpole franchise of some sort. You know, not in the same way as lots of other ones, but like another Xenoblade or like Fire Emblem or something like that, which are like sell way less than, you know, whatever other Marios and stuff like that, but sell really well for JRPGs and stuff. And like, honestly, coming to the realization, because people talk all the time about like, yeah, Nintendo doesn't need any more RPGs. And like, really, they don't have that many. I think, you know, they've got like Fire Emblem, Zelda, if you count that as an RPG, which it's not really, but like, you know, it's got some of the tropes from it. But I mean, yeah, Xenoblade, Fire Emblem, Pokemon for sure, which, yeah, I mean, that's, and then, you know, they've got like Mario RPG type stuff, which is, and like only two of those are even fantasy kind of things, Xenoblade and Fire Emblem.
I think people feel that way because a lot of the, you know, third party Nintendo exclusives are also RPGs. So they lump those games that like they've lumped the Dragon Quest in with that, you know.
Yeah, I could see that.
And like Monster Hunter games and like that sort of thing. So they're like, every game we see is an RPG.
Yeah.
But a lot of Nintendo's games, I mean, I feel like most of Nintendo's games are platformers.
I fully agree with that. And I mean, they're good at them. Like I'd be fine with more
I don't have a problem
other platformers as well.
Really, either one. I think that because I don't feel like they overdo any of it. I don't feel that way where it's like there's too many RPGs, especially as somebody that's not like a huge RPG fan. Like I'm not like adverse to them, you know.
And especially the RPGs they have, I feel like are pretty varied too. Like it's not like a ton of one kind, because even within just those three, if we're thinking about Xenoblade, Fire Emblem, and Golden Sun,
none of them play the same.
No, exactly, like at all. So yeah, man, it would. My closing thoughts are that I am glad that I finally made a video about Golden Sun, because I talk about it all the time and I feel like a fake fan a lot of times, like imposter syndrome and stuff. But I just really like the first two games, even if I haven't played them again. In like the last time I played them was probably, I don't know, 2013 or something like that. So like that's a pretty long time ago, but they're just good, you know? And
I don't know. I've never played it.
I don't know. They're fun.
Sounds good. Maybe I'll play it. Who knows?
But you know what's really fun? Golden Sun. But you know what also is sometimes fun? Q&A. Just kidding. Q&A is always fun.
How dare you?
Because you just never know what's going to come, you know? Unless you read the questions ahead of time, in which case, you know some of what's going to come. Here's some questions from the Discord. Lord Commander Graham Hain, with his plethora of questions, asks, with the new spread of Animal Crossing Vitus going around, how do you think the local governments will react given the current experience with pandemics? Will Tom Nook be brought in as an advisor? And if so, how much will he charge?
I think
all of it.
I think Nook will be brought on. And Nook will act like he's given a generous offer of 90,000 bells, but his advice will be to make everybody buy Animal Crossing, so he makes even more money.
Yeah.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Whoa. Scary times there. Way to go, Tom Nook. Good hustle, you know?
I tweeted about how I don't hate Tom Nook as much as I used to, but like he still kind of sucks. You know? Because like the fact that he lets me pay it off in miles is neat, you know? It would be like if I could pay off my house by like, you know, watching TV in my house. Where it's like, experience your house. That's how you pay off your house.
Uh-huh.
I would be fine with that.
Yep.
But he still forces me to do it, you know?
I mean, I guess.
I never played through a sequence in an Animal Crossing game where it's like, I'm going to travel to this town and I'm going to move there. I just end up there. I think this game is its verbiage is more like it's an intentional move, but every other Animal Crossing game is like, I just freaking ended up here. I don't know where I came from. I don't know why I'm here. I guess I gotta buy a house.
And then you do. And then you do it and you're happy and sad at the same time.
I mean, maybe you're not. Who knows?
Maybe you're not. Next question, still from Grim Haynes, said, do you think GameStop will get in trouble for breaking street date on both Animal Crossing and Doom Eternal? The expectation that players won't get their Switch locked because they have legally purchased copies seems to not hold out to GameStop.
No, I don't think they'll get in trouble, especially considering the circumstance.
Yeah.
But speaking of GameStop,
also because like I don't know that they're gonna, or I mean, probably what you were about to say, if they close down or whatever, they were definitely going to try to hold out for this weekend. Like there was no way that they were going to be like, oh, we'll go ahead and close down on Wednesday of this week, because they were like, no, we're going to wait for Animal Crossing and Doom to come out and then maybe we'll close, you know?
Yeah. I was going to talk about how they try to say that GameStop is an essential store.
Yeah.
And how, again, like I said, people would start blaming Reggie for that. Like, that was like Reggie's decision.
They?
Yeah, like people were like, oh, Reggie needs to, blah, blah, you know, like freaking bringing Reggie into it. Like,
oh my goodness.
Man, just.
I didn't even see that. That's hilarious.
He just became part of their board. You really think that he has the pull to single-handedly be either yes or no, let's close down stores?
Yeah.
I guarantee you he does not.
No, absolutely. That's really funny. But yeah, I feel like, I mean, all things considered, right now they don't particularly care. And like I think like probably Nintendo was kind of fine with or happy for people to be playing a couple days early, but like couldn't officially do something because obviously like
because marketing's in place, changing all that is expensive for no reason when you could just release the game on the day that you release it. Like for a lot of companies that are like pivoting and like we're releasing it now, that's good PR and they're going to make more than they would have otherwise.
Yep.
Whereas Nintendo was going to sell Animal Crossing regardless.
Yeah, right.
So like it was just like costing them money to sell Animal Crossing to the same people that were going to buy it 2 days later.
Yep. I wouldn't be surprised if GameStop closed up shop at some point end of next week after they've had this weekend sales for these two games that have been like highly, highly anticipated for a while.
Yeah.
But it's no surprise to me at all that they were like, I mean, probably like, no, we just want to sell these two games because we have.
I just don't understand the minds of people that think I'm going to go to GameStop during a freaking pandemic or whatever. Like that it's not even an essential store when there's not a pandemic for me. Right. I never go to GameStop.
No, I mean, I would just go get it at Target or Walmart or something, you know, where those stores have to be open because they have groceries. So, you know, those are essential stores.
And also, I don't go to stores to buy games anyway.
I bought both copies digitally, so.
So it's like, especially now, like I would be so unlikely to go to a store to buy a video game. It would be the last thing on my mind.
Yep. Honestly, the only game that I bought at GameStop in a very long time was because at Christmas I was given a $50 gift card to GameStop. Gift stop to game card.
Game card.
And so I went in and bought a game. But besides that, I did buy the new Switch at GameStop. That's true. That happened.
I got my new Switch at GameStop, but that was like 6 months ago.
It was August.
August. And then I go to GameStop for when I have Joy-Con drifts every 5 months or whatever.
That's true.
But I don't buy video games from them.
No. Oh, man. Last question from Grimhane was, what are your quarantine meal suggestions? #fanatixfoods.
What did I eat today? I ate a rat.
Nice.
Chicken rat. I had spaghetti yesterday.
I've got lots of spaghetti. I'm stocked up on that. Last night we made, 2 nights ago I made something. I'm terrible at cooking chicken. I don't know why. I'm just bad at it. It always is.
How?
I don't know. It turns out like maybe it just turns out either tough. It just always turns out tough, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Are you like baking it or frying it? Or?
I've done a couple of different things, and it's just like
always the same.
I think honestly, the problem is I buy frozen chicken. I think I've thaw it poorly, and so that's probably a lot of the problem. But last night I made burgers, and those I feel pretty good about how I do them. And Ashley was like, "These are real good," and she usually says that. So that was a good one. But yeah, otherwise spaghetti.
Did she say about spaghetti. The chicken?
No, she specifically like when I made the chicken the other day, like. And she was like, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that." And I was like, "Yeah, that's okay." But she took a bite and was like, "Ooh, this one's kind of tough." And I was like, "Oh," and she's like, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have." And I was like, "That's okay. You're right, though. It is." But I more just felt bad because I was like, "That was our dinner, and I messed it up." But whatever, it is what it is. She's a very nice lady, and I love her a lot.
Just stop buying chicken, then. You know,
I'm honestly
you don't need chicken.
Honestly, I mean, it turns out fine in like soups and stuff. So I'll probably just buy chicken just to put in soups and just not cook it by itself because it's bad.
Or just buy like rotisserie chickens and heat them up.
Also very true.
But so, and yeah. I mean like the pre-made ones. Like don't buy like a full chicken and like carve it up and stuff. Don't even bother with it.
Just chop a head off. Sorry. I'm pretty sure 7 is vegan. So sorry about that.
I'm sorry.
We're talking about meats. Next question, still from Discord. Kibu Trash says, "Who are your favorite villagers on your island? Did you have any villagers you were hoping to get on your island, and if so, did you get them?"
So far, Fuchsia. I don't think I had a specific villager that I was hoping for. That I thought, other than like the freaking like Isabel. I can't wait until she's there.
Yeah,
that'd be neat.
On my island, not so far. They seem neutral to fine. But Ashley's island, she has Renee, who seems also fine, whatever. But Axel, who's an elephant and is the best. We love Axel a lot. He's just a smiley little guy, and he's cute, and we like him.
This is what you do. You go to her island when you're when the airport opens and you steal him from her and you just
big old bag.
You never open your gate again.
Yeah.
No, but you actually can do that. But don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, especially after you gave her bad chicken.
Can I give her one of my villagers just to be like, just take him?
She can convince him. She could try to convince him to come to her island.
Could happen.
You can. Yeah, it could be a coordinated effort in the sense that like you can make whoever you try to give to her, you just make him hate his life on your island.
Yeah,
and then she's like a beacon of hope.
True. So I've got 2. I've got Curly and whatever that said the other one was Muffy. Muffy's and Curly seems good. Curly's the pig, Muffy's the sheep. There's that. Any villagers you were hoping to get, and if to you, AJ?
Nah, just the people that are like, I miss Rip Rossetti, dude.
Yeah.
I'm saying
he still has some job, right? Doing something.
I mean, they so they say, but he's not actually in the game. He's like in charge, like he's like the freaking CEO of something of the rescue team or whatever.
I wonder if it was just because of complaints of like, because parents would be like, he made my kid cry and that kind of stuff. Because apparently
your kid, that would have been another word if this wasn't a family-friendly podcast.
But it is, and we love kids in this podcast. Another question from Grim Haynes said, "Is fanatixfour following government suggestions about working from home, not having large gatherings, etc.? Parker, blink twice if you're being pressured to go into the fanatixfour office. Wink."
Oh no. Not pressured.
I blinked 5 times. I don't know what that.
Not pressured by me. I don't pressure Parker to do literally anything.
I mean, this is the fanatixfour office right here.
Parker was like something about, "I'm sorry if your videos." I'm like, dude, if your videos late, it's fine. It's like,
it's true.
The extent of me being like caring is just like as long as the video goes up, I'm cool. And even if the video doesn't go up, whatever, just let me know.
Yep. I mean, so far, we haven't missed an upload.
No, we haven't missed the upload since we started.
Yep.
So.
I don't think we've missed a podcast either. I mean, last week was close.
Yeah, we got close.
That's probably the closest.
Last week, we almost, and by almost, I mean like we're like 4 days when we like considered the idea of like, maybe you're not doing a podcast when we were at PAX.
Yep.
And then Pete was like,
those good old Loot Pots boys. No, that was Max that showed up.
Oh, yeah. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry.
You lie.
I'm sorry.
I mean, Pete also showed up, and Steve also showed up.
But I didn't mean to give Pete's. Give freaking Max's credit to Pete.
Yep.
I'm sorry,
but you did. But you got it back. It's okay. It worked out. But yeah, we are following. I haven't. I mean, I'm working from home. I assume you're doing home thing. I don't know.
I always work from home. I think I have an office building.
Well, no, but like going out and doing things. Like even so, like church this weekend, like last weekend, they canceled church like right before, like I think that's Saturday night or Friday night. Maybe they were like, we're going to do a live stream. And so same thing this week. And I'm actually playing on the worship team this week, and it'll be like all of 10 people. And it's literally the people in the band and like the people running it, and then the pastor, and that's pretty much it. And then we're just going to live stream it. So,
are you going?
Which even that is like,
are you going to stream me like playing drums?
I was supposed to be playing drums this week, but I think they didn't want to bother with all that for streaming it. So I think I'll be playing, I don't know, guitar or cajon or bass or something. I don't know. We'll find out. Who's to say? Oh yeah, but I did do that drums video this week, which I was glad to finally do. It didn't turn out as well as I wanted it to, but it happened, and that was fun. So whatever. Progress
to the next one, you know.
It is. Sardi asks, Parker's not going to answer. He's playing Animal Crossing. How many hours have you logged so far? About the last thing. How many hours have you logged so far? What fruits did you get on your island?
How many hours do I have? Maybe like 8, something like that.
Maybe probably 8. Got like probably 3, maybe 4 total, because I played a little bit between work things today, and I played like 2 or 3 hours last night. So probably about 4.
I played from on Thursday 11 to like 6.
With just breaks having to deal with my shenanigans.
and then like 6 I like freaking, you know, did the opposite of what I'm supposed to do and had a whole bunch of like family over here, and they wanted to play board games and crap. So I was like, all right. So I did that until like, I don't know, like 12, and then from like 12 to like 3 I played more Animal Crossing. It's like 10 hours or something like that.
Nice. Look at that. What a pro. And we have oranges. You got apples.
I don't have oranges. I got apples.
I'll give you some oranges.
Yay.
Next question from Duncan says, how can we force the naysayers onto our islands? Do you think Tom Nook would kidnap someone for a small bribe, but he would kidnap someone for nothing? That's not true.
Because he'll because he'll get his money from them. He'll kidnap them. They'll show up on his island, and then he's like, "You're on my island, so you have to take my loan. You have no choice." Because you never see this agreement.
You're right.
He said, "Here's an itemized bill. Where?
Maybe that's how we showed up in this island in the first place.
We got kidnapped.
We'll talk to Dan, get this on the next game theory vid. Just that we were kidnapped. Question. Crunch Topher said, which of the Nooklings are most likely to murder Tom and take over as CEO, and why is it Timmy? Oh, it's 100% Timmy.
No, I think it's Tommy, but here's why. I think Tommy's going to do it because it's like, you know, Tom, he's like his namesake, you know. But twist, I think Timmy's going to murder Tommy because he's always been jealous of Tommy being the namesake dude. Like that's
cool. True.
So,
but Timmy's the one running the shop. Do you think that has nothing? Isn't he? I'm pretty sure.
That has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
I think that
so it's more family dynamics than actual.
I think Timmy running the shop is like him trying to like overachieve, like he's trying to like prove that he's more than Tommy, even though he doesn't have the same name,
And Tommy's just scheming in the background.
Tommy's like, man, he's Scar, like he feels like he could just get it if he's
being prepared.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But Timmy is like, he's even more devious than that.
Yep. It's true. Be prepared. You know what I'm saying? Be prepared.
Exactly.
Last question. This is from Twitter. We're doing a good job, y'all. Here it goes. This is from Twitter. This is Falcon, who said, do you guys buy your consoles at launch or shortly thereafter? Or do you wait a few months to a year or so after release? Thinking face.
Did he say thinking face or did he put the emoji?
I think
he probably said thinking face. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm checking right now. We're going to find out right now.
He also uses that emoji a lot, but I wouldn't be surprised if he said.
Oh no, he used the emoji, which is great. But it copied funny in here and it just says thinking face.
But it depends on what it is. I bought Switch at launch. I actually didn't buy my Xbox. Logan did. I bought my PlayStation like a year and a half after PlayStation came out. Because I was like, there's nothing on here that I want. So really, it just depends on if there's something on there that I want. If there is at launch, I'm buying it at launch.
Yeah.
At this point, if it's a Nintendo thing, I'm buying it at launch.
I think honestly, at this point, if it's a Nintendo thing, I'll buy it at launch. I mean, although that doesn't include like Switch Lite, or whatever.
Yeah,
but
like if it's not essential for content.
Right. But
in the same way that like if I can do everything on the Switch that I currently have, then I'm not going to.
Yeah, right.
Even though, to be fair, if the new like the battery boost that Switch didn't come out, I probably would have got a Switch Lite. But because I already have like, for all intents and purposes, the better version of that, I was like,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, for me, I don't even know if I'm going to get any other. There's a chance that I might get whatever. Okay.
If there's a Switch Pro, I highly doubt you wouldn't get it.
Oh, no. I would get a Switch Pro. Yeah. That's not what I was going to say. I was going to say like a different console, something like a PlayStation or Xbox, something, whatever is the cheapest and easiest way to play a wide swath of games. So probably a cheap Xbox console that has like Game Pass and Xbox. It kind of depends on what, not Xbox, xCloud. Whatever xCloud comes out and whatever that looks like, I might get something within the Xbox line that's cheap that can play xCloud and Game Pass stuff, so that I can just pay a subscription fee, not have to worry about buying new games.
Yeah,
and so then just go with that.
When new games that like vaguely interest you now, is like do what I do, and you're like, oh yeah, neat, and then you get it, and then you either play it or you don't.
That's so like, and not even caring about any kind of backlog or anything on that.
Exactly. Yeah,
maybe like that, but
how I live my life in general.
But yeah, that's super passive. Nintendo consoles, a new console I would get at launch. A Switch Pro I wouldn't necessarily get at launch. The reason I got the battery upgrade one at launch was because I was going on a work trip, and this way I could get Ashley one too. So some factors fell into it.
Also, I feel like the same thing would happen there. It definitely was like a thing. At least what it felt like was you found a way to convince yourself.
There's probably some truth to that too.
I feel like that would happen again with the Switch Pro.
Which is funny because that's normally
be like some type of really good deal where it's like, oh, I'm basically paying $50 or whatever. Yeah. Why not?
100%. If that happened, yeah. And the thing is, like, that's also not normally the way I am about anything. Like, I don't really splurge or buy lots of things for myself. So this is the one thing too.
The fact that you don't have the PlayStation or Xbox of this generation says that.
Yeah. So that
I think that it would be
that helps to feel like oh, I can
feel
finally
like
do this.
You do that when you could justify it, but you could definitely, it's so easy for you to justify a new Switch with this now.
Yep.
And also now that like Ashley is into it and it's easy at that point.
It is. So yeah, there's that, but we'll just see how it plays out because we don't know. And we'll also see how this channel plays, or we'll see how this podcast, it's done.
Yep. It's over.
For some reason, I like leaning into the bit that I am not great at transitions, but it's more fun to do bad segues than to do kind of middling ones.
Yeah.
And just so like I just kind of do that sometimes at this point.
Yeah, because like segues used to be the thing, and it's fun because like Logan kind of like tried to take ownership of that, and we like both did it. But he like ever since the Jess episode where we did just Jess, and he was like trying to impress her. It's like it's my thing now. I was like, all right. And then you came on, and it's like your thing is like doing like the forced like weird almost segues of like you could have easily just said this, but you went the other direction, and like you went the long way.
It's true, and we took the long way to get to the end of this podcast. Here we are.
We got there.
On up.
The podcast didn't explode.
Nothing exploded.
Knock on wood.
My computer almost exploded on Thursday, like 2 hours before the video needed to go out.
That's true.
I spilled some water right near it from a cup that I thought was completely empty, and it wasn't.
Big oof.
But it was fine.
But small oof because it turned out fine.
It's true.
Like, comment, subscribe if you're an audio listener. Leave us a review,
Oh, I'm going to check here. Just closing things. I'm going to check, see if anybody did one, and we'll read it. I'm going to read the one from last time as well because it got cut off.
That got cut off.
Last time, Wiltron IE said, chill podcast. These guys are great, and they help keep me up to date with the latest Switch news. I'm even listening through their backlog to have something on while working. Good dudes, good podcast.
Dang.
Thanks, Wiltron IE. Thank you a lot.
Is that it?
That's
done?
We're done.
We're done. Leave us reviews. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend. Okay, bye.
Bye.